your minds, my Garcia can navigate. Flowing while I'm blowing this gas. Nigga, no brakes. Niggas not seeing me ever. I mean, no dates. Fuck around and end up gone. You getting misplaced. I claim you dealing with grace. Took over the game, I storm like Rain's mixtape. Thankfully, I've been up in smoke like mom mixtape. Counting cheddar shit, I'm about to make a grilled cheese. Niggas be faker than bad bitches with good weeds. On my John Wick shit like Kyrie. Replacements won't be enough, you need the whole team. I've been a G since I could finish my ABCs. Kept it a buck so real niggas look up to me. This butcher boy shit get crazy when it's sick of me. I'm coughing out these dope bars till they sick of me.
Can't get rid of me, still can't find a remedy. Still blowing palmers, if it comes to Hennessy. E.N.E, we own our shit independently. When I go out on a limb, I take extremities. I can see right through transparency. Heard they self-esteem low, insecurities. Now I never like, glitch the guarantee. What's the recipe? King L's reflection 3. All these chapters in my life, you can turn a page. Books can't tell you my story, gotta live it down. Glitch got my back, yeah, you can copy that. Man, we control the seat, you can copy that. Leave your whole state red like Republicans. Put fire on the track, now it's bubbling. Put your boys eating it, you in trouble, kid. Add first 100 mil, you can double that.
Let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. Automatic nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's automatic nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Blow sick, corona, jealous in the motherfucker. Can't even take a step, that's how far I trust you. This black boy turned to shining king under pressure. West side bad jacks, I took more to measure. Shade the extra stats, business started being street rules. What I talk, royal blood flowing free. Power on my mind, knows the gang is kind. Read between the lines, it was in my eye. If they ain't got real lines, it ain't hard to spot a counterfeit. Undefeated, ultra real, firm gully mountain shit. Couple high shots, turn on the frozen margaritas. Even better when it's served with some flawless features. Next year they gotta pay for these flawless features. Flawless victories from the flaws that they teach us. Now my flow imitate how I board the plane non-stop. The little J gon' take over with my time stop.
Yeah, I get right to it. My nigga, we beg your pardon. We putting niggas back in boxes. Yeah, they need harder. My flow be retarded. Sick, I need hella help. My group came back. This must be how Stella felt. We just started kicking it like a yellow belt. We all made it to the pro. This is how the mellow fell. You better yell out help. Here comes the double team. You catch me in the spot. Then you know that the boy is playing. The Louis V look mean with the magazine. So if you try it, you get shot. No vaccine. If you were asleep before I came, then I'm the caffeine. I pull the jokers out the deck. There ain't no laughing. In CEO fashion, we sticking to the business. Wouldn't even let a vegan on me off my chick. Something about the VVS when the sun is hitting. Shit be flashing like the lights when you getting
Let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Yeah. What up? It's the man about town, Virgil Berry, a.k.a. Stacks with the Facts. And y'all know y'all tuned in to another episode of Real Talk Podcast. Please, as you come in the demonstration, please wipe your feet, hit that like button, click on the subscribe bell, and subscribe to the page, please. Just relax. I'm going to drop the link. And when you see the link in the chat, just tap it. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm going to bring you right on in. So just give me a couple seconds. I'm going to bring you right on up, brother. How's everybody doing tonight? You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful evening, a beautiful day as well. You know what I mean? We all woke up today, so we already won. So we already got the victory. You know what I'm talking about? How's everybody doing this evening? Let me hear something. My man Vernon 85, what it do? We got my man King L's in the building. You did. Got my man Tox Beats in the building. Right? You already know what it is. We got 2 of E.N.E, well, actually 3, including myself. E.N.E members in the building. You know what I'm talking about? And we about to get it in. You know what I'm saying? Now, my brother L, we go back years, man. Like I said, anybody who I rock with, I've been knowing for a period of years. And it ain't nothing different with my brother King L's, right? Been knowing him about 25 years. You know what I'm saying? So you already know I got my brother coming up. We about to chop it up, drop some game, and expound and dig and dive in on the various few topics this evening. You know what I'm saying? It's important to keep the conversation going on as many different issues and topics as possible. You know what I'm saying? Because when we have these discussions, like I said, out of them come not only solutions, but we get to connect game with people who we normally wouldn't interact with. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about this whole social engineering, social media aspect. How you can interact with people who cross state, city, country even, and even internationally. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a truly beautiful thing. And I'm just, I could be anywhere in the world, but y'all right here with me. So that's a beautiful thing in itself, and I appreciate that. I want to let y'all know that I don't take nothing for granted. And I'm just a guy creating a platform for y'all to come and speak your piece and speak your mind on the various things, topics, issues that affect us all in some way, form, or fashion. So I ask again, how's everybody doing tonight? Hope y'all feeling good. Hope y'all ready. Me and my brother L definitely about to chop it up, and it's going down. You know what I mean? Tomorrow night is going to be a topic that, you know what I mean, I seen on Facebook. One of my Facebook friends made the post, and I thought it was very intriguing. So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. But tonight, me and my brother King L's about to chop up some game for y'all, man. You know what I mean? Now, I gotta say, man, with this conversation, shout out to my brother Red Supreme TV1. This is something that we be discussing on my brother Red's platform a lot. Like I said, we focusing on solution-based content. But every now and again, we gotta reiterate and we gotta break down the behavior and the psyche. You understand what I'm saying? I said, do you understand what I'm saying? And I think it's only right that we keep doing that because it's important. You know what I'm saying? It's very important to sit up here and go over certain things so we can know what we're talking about and get as much information on these subjects, topics, issues as we can. So when we come to the table, when we come to the commonplace meeting ground, which is A Real Talk Podcast, we get all the ideas out on the table and we could come up with some plans of actions through troubleshooting and having these conversations and, of course, dropping game on one another. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. It's an honor and a privilege to be hosting the show and to have y'all as the guests, like, the audience. Y'all are the co-hosts. This is y'all show as well. You know what I'm saying? So please feel free to engage. As a matter of fact, meet and greet each other as you come in too, man. Say salutations and hello to each other. So feel free to add your commentary, of course, in the comment section. And if you feel you want to add something to the conversation or you got a question, the link will be available for y'all to tap in. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to rock out like that. Yeah, man. That's how we doing it, man. You did. That's straight like that. So I'm about to bring my brother L up. I'm about to bring him up here in a second. And of course, we're going to go in. So, you know what I'm saying? Of course, we're about to go in. And as y'all see, the title of the show tonight is Divide and Conquer. You hear me? Shout out to Cupcake in the building. Got my sis Cupcake in the building, being her. Gonna have another show coming up. I might just bring her in tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Cupcake, how you feel about joining me tomorrow, man, on this conversation, man, to speak on behalf of the ladies. And of course, we're gonna drop that link, and some of y'all ladies can definitely come on in and speak your piece too tomorrow evening. It's gonna be a beautiful discussion. But tonight, we're talking about divide and conquer. And of course, like I said, chopping up game with my brother King Els. You know what I'm saying? 1/6 of the collective E.N.E, which myself, I'm a part of as well. Now, if y'all heard that introduction song, "Let's Go," the guy on the last the last verse was split up in two, and the first guy was my brother King Els, man. He's a barsmith, like everyone in our collective. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I got some more treats for y'all towards the end of the show as well. So, you know, without further ado, I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes, and I'm gonna bring my brother L up, let a couple more people get up in here. Yeah, so how y'all like that show last night with my brother Serville Riley, aka CEO of Wiggles Juice, DIG the brand? How y'all feel about that show last night? What y'all think about that show last night? I know he dropped some heavy jewels in game on y'all. You know what I mean? My brother got a lot of exclusive things coming up. We got that situation, you know what I'm talking about? We got that situation going on August 20th with his birthday bash. You know, everyone's literally invited. You know, so I had the privilege of going by his actual business today, his place of business, and it's under construction, but it's beautiful, and it's gonna be beautiful when he get done with it. You know what I mean? I was supposed to be getting some bottles from him today, but how things often go in business, the labels for the bottles ain't gonna be done till tomorrow. So when I go in tomorrow, I'm gonna go pick them bottles up, and I'm gonna show y'all what my man's actually working with. I'm saying he gave me a bottle today, but like I said, he ain't got his labels in yet, and I don't even know what this is, but I'm sipping on it, and it's beautiful. It's nice, and it's fruity, not too sweet, not too dry, and it has a real nice finish to it. Tastes like a sangria, and I gotta say it's very well. So you know what I mean? Y'all make sure y'all go to Facebook, type in my brother's name. I'm about to put it on the screen real quick for y'all, because like I say, I show love to all my people's doing stuff in the city. So y'all make sure y'all go shop with my brother, man. You know what I mean? Go holler at him on Facebook and Instagram. I'm typing it in right now. There it is in the chat. It's posted up on the screen. So if y'all interested in getting some Columbus, Ohio made wine, and I gotta say, this is very delicious. I'm not just saying that. It really is. Because if it was terrible, I'll tell y'all it was terrible. You hear me? Hey, good looking out, Project Leroy. I appreciate that. I appreciate you tapping in and supporting as always, man. Shout out to my brother, Project Leroy. You know what I'm talking about? And yeah, y'all make sure y'all go holler at my brother right there, man. That's his contact information on Facebook and on Instagram. Y'all make sure when y'all make y'all's next wine purchase, y'all go purchase from my brother, man. He can deliver it to you through FedEx right now, and he got the demonstration coming up where he's going to be able to deliver it to you through Amazon, so you can order your Wiggles juice with his 100+ flavors anytime you want to. And trust me, I just went to the winery I just went to where he makes everything, and trust me, he got wine on deck. You hear me? He got the big boy tanks in there. You hear me? So you know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all go holler at him. Of course, telling Stats with the Facts sent you. Might get a discount. Who knows? You feel me? How's everybody doing tonight? You already know, Project Leroy, man, my brethren. You already know. Yeah, make sure y'all meet and greet each other, man. You know, salute to each other, man. Say hello to each other. Blessings, manners, and respect, man. So tonight, we're going to be chopping up heavy game tonight. Me and my brother L. I'm about to drop the link for him so he can come on in. You hear me? Just go ahead and tap that link right there, L, and I'm going to bring you up here shortly. You know what I'm saying? We about to go in and chop up some gizang. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man, this is a beautiful discussion we about to have. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we about to go in, man. You know what I'm saying? So I dropped the link, L, but next to my name. You should see it right there. All you gotta do is tap that link, and I'll bring you right on in, man. Straight like that. So how y'all like that intro song, man? Let's go. Got my brother L on that track, man. We got tracks for days, man. So whenever y'all hear me playing some music, y'all already know it's gonna be E.N.E. Not that I got anything against industry guys or guys who are already popping, but you know, I'm a supporter, as you see, of local businessmen, businesswomen. So it's only right that I bang independent local music, which just happens to be our own. You hear me? So that's all, you know, that's what I do, y'all. That's one of the main reasons why I created this platform. So for y'all, like I said, for y'all. So if you be from whatever city you may be, you hear me? If you got some music you got popping, you know what I'm saying, hit me up on the email. You know what I'm talking about? If you look in the description, my email is in the description. You know, so you can hit me up on the email, send me that music, and we'll play it on the show. You want to come on the show, discuss what you got going on with your music, wherever you from. You got a platform right here where Real Talk. You can believe that. So whenever L decided, there you go, right there. Right? I'm about to bring you up here in a couple seconds, L. So you already know, man. My brother L, man, like I said, I've been knowing this guy 20, 25 years, man. We've been knowing each other since we was young boys. You know what I'm saying? Running around, you know what I mean? Just hanging out with each other. But as we got older, you know what I'm saying, we started messing with the music and, you know, was going hard on that. Then, unfortunately, I ended up catching some time. So that put a damper in some things as far as collective. But my brothers definitely held it down, was gone. And, you know, it's just, you know, this is something we've been doing for a long time. It's a hobby. You know what I mean? We about to really focus on, you know what I'm saying, running the situation independently with the merch and all of that. So we're going to get into a little bit of that. But we also going to have this discussion about this topic of the show, which we about to get into. So, you know, so I'm going to bring my brother L up right now. L, what's good, brother?
What's good, brother?
What's the deal?
Man, can you hear me?
Y'all can hear you, but you got, I can hear you good.
All right.
Yeah, so like I was saying, man, you know, this is one of my brothers right here, man. Like I said, whenever I bring somebody up on the platform, man, 9 times out of 10, I probably know them. You know what I'm saying? And I just like to showcase the various things going on in my city as far as, you know, business, just like last night with my brother. And also chopping up game with various people who I know who are very intelligent, outspoken, you know, have a wide range of discussions and topics that, you know, we can always go in on, drop some game on, share some information on. And my brother L is none less than that. Like I said, I've been knowing him 20 plus years. And you know what I'm saying? We've also been a part of this E.N.E collective that we got going on. And this actually was his idea. And actually, this is also a beautiful night tonight, too, because I can announce that starting this Tuesday tonight with this show, every Tuesday, you know what I'm saying, the Most High willing, me and my brother L is definitely going to be going in every Tuesday with a different discussion with y'all. And we're going to do it, rock it out like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we coming with the diversified content and we coming with solution-based content. And we definitely going to have some solutions at the end of the discussion tonight. So once again, thank everybody for coming out. I'm going to let my brother L talk to y'all. He can introduce himself to y'all, give him, a little spiel or whatever, and we're going to get right into it. Talk to him.
Hey, what's good, brother? Can you still hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, brethren.
Cool. Well, yeah, King Gales. Some of y'all know me, Lionel Henderson. Columbus, Ohio, part of E.N.E, 1/6 part of E.N.E.
Yep.
We do various things, everything from loan origination. Right now, I'm currently a mortgage loan originator, but we also got our own DJing business. If you need a party done, we still come through, set the music up for you.
Yes, sir.
We tear the show down too for you if you need us to perform. And we do a lot of things. You got Verge on the media side. I'm honored to come on here with my brethren.
You already know.
We got some great things to talk about today, so that's what we're going to tap into.
Right. So, when my man L came at me to, because, this is something that we've been actually planning, you know what I'm saying? But due to niggas schedule and shit, I'm talking about, we just now getting to a place where we can actually sit down and make it happen. So here's, like I say, we could consider this the pilot episode of A Real Talk podcast featuring King L's. You hear me? And like my brother said, man, it's an honor and a blessing to be doing this with one of my brothers who are, you know what I mean? I just want to say this too before we get into it. I appreciate all the support, y'all, man. You know what I mean? A lot of people who rock with me, been knowing that this has been something that I've been putting a lot of effort and work into for the past few years, you know what I'm saying? But actually, you know what I mean? This actually been something I've been prepared for all my life, you know what I'm saying? So it's only right that we do it in this fashion. And like I say, I'm all about showcasing my people. See, it's my show, but my show is all about everybody else. It ain't so much about me, but y'all also get to know about me. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like a beautiful smorgasbord over here. And saying as far as the topic goes, you know what I mean? This was my brother L's idea. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'll give credit to where it's due. You know what I'm saying? And I've told him like we can definitely come on the platform and have a discussion. You know what I'm saying? Divide and conquer. So L, go ahead and just when you came up with this idea or when this idea came to you, you know what I'm saying? What was your frame of mind and what you know what I'm saying, intrigues you to go ahead and bring it up as a topic for discussion on the night?
Well, to me, this topic is something that my business trainings that I used to be in. A lot of the relationship building programs I went through, and what I used to do was some of the books they give us to read, such as like the 4 Agreements. Then I would also apply it outside to my real relationships in my life.
Right.
And the more you start to understand relationships, they're all the same. It's just different styles of relationship, from me and Verge's relationship to me and my woman's relationship to you and your co-worker's relationship. Yes, they're all different relationships, but it's all it takes the same steps. It's always following the same steps.
Right.
So that's one thing I wanted to talk about. And it's not even a narrow conversation just about relationships with the spouse. It could be relationships with your community, relationships with the cops. It's so much disconnect that we see out here. I feel like it's a good subject to touch on. And it's always a great conversation to try to understand where two sides are apart, how they could come together. So when I came up with this, I always say, don't complain unless, come with the solution. That's one thing I learned in my business trainings.
Right.
Don't go to your manager, go and complaining if you don't have some type of solution behind that.
Right.
Or your manager, a lot of time, they may tend to it, but then after a while, you get shoved into a different category. And that's the same way with any relationship in life. If you come into your relationship with your spouse and all you do is complain, but you don't give a solution on how to fix it,
right,
a lot of the times it's going to break down. Same thing with the cops. All you do is complain about the cops and the relationships in the streets, but you don't ever come with any solutions or any plan of action. It's always going to be a disconnect. So today is a time to really just talk about the stages of relationships. And that way, maybe people could get some type of understanding, a better understanding about it. And then by the end of this, I would like to at least wrap it up and talk about how we can have some solutions towards helping change it, what goes on.
Of course.
So that's the whole premise of what we're doing today.
Exactly. And like I said, shouts out to my brother Red Supreme TV1. Y'all go open up that window right now. You on your computer, go open up a window right now. You hear me? You go to goddamn YouTube and you type in Red Supreme TV1. Go subscribe to my brother's page. Same for Chaos Rain. Same for Mr. O and the Ozone Podcast. And the same for Shantastic Trill TV. You heard me? You know what I'm saying? And so my brother definitely has some bullet points. You know what I'm saying? This is one thing I respect about my brother L, when he got something in his mind that he really wanted to do, and he put focus into it, put time into it, you know what I'm talking about? So, of course, my brother came with some bullet points. And L, you definitely need to put a picture or something up there for you know what I'm saying, when you get the stream or when you get a chance to do that. So the first bullet point he came up with is Black entitlement. Now, before we get into this aspect of the conversation, when you was thinking about relationships and all their various ways, I want to know what your thought process was to make you come up with the topic of, or bullet point of, Black entitlement. Because that's an ambiguous thing right there. So I just want you to, you know what I'm saying, expound on that if you could, if you would.
Well, the reason I felt that was so important to tackle up front, simply because a lot of misunderstandings in relationships, to me, starts off with the entitlement that you come in up front in the relationship.
Right.
The expectations that you have set that in some parts may not be what we would call, what would you say, Verge? It doesn't add on to the relationship. It doesn't bring any value.
Right.
It doesn't really make or break the relationship. It doesn't have anything to do with the foundation of the relationship, which is the most important. And the entitlement, it just comes from a lot of expectations, maybe things you've seen on the internet, a video you've seen of somebody getting something that you feel like, oh, whatever that may be. But I feel like, and I shouldn't even label it Black entitlement, because it's not even subjective just to Black people. It's really a lot of people. Like, I think people in general, especially the newer generation, just come up super entitled. Right. I hear it a lot, even with parents. When parents have beefs with their kids, a lot of the times I'm hearing it's the same reason. Like, a kid is entitled to something. You've given it to them their whole life, and the first time you say no, the kid breaks down, and now you have beef with your kid over an entitlement issue that should never occur.
Right.
So I think that is, in a lot of times, a part of the foundation that builds bad relationships up front. And that's, like I said, with any type of relationship. If you go into it with, of course, you have expectations. You have morals that you want to follow in whatever relationship you start off. But you also have to understand, you're not entitled to anything except for respect, love, and care. Everything else is built up from the ground up.
Right.
And it comes with time. So I think people walk into relationships with this entitlement. And like I said, whether it's with the cops, they think that the cops are entitled to do certain things that they may not be. I know you talk about it a lot. Right. And you always ask people the question, and you tell them it can't be argued. And the reason I think you even say that to, any of these type of relationship topics or whatever you say, is because it is left subjective. Because yes, you may comment on the way you feel and the way you feel entitled, your emotional response to the situation, but what about the other side?
Right.
You know, a lot of us are, I think we're so entitled to our feelings that we don't consider anything. So an issue too, because a lot of us think solely about ourselves and our responses instead of other people's feelings and what their responses may be also.
Right.
And then when they respond and tell you something that you don't like, entitlement sometimes clouds your judgment and your responses and the way that you even receive the information. And sometimes you might shut down and not receive the actual information to where you might miss out on a building moment of understanding that you could have came to, but instead you are listening emotionally to respond and not to take in the information. And that comes with that part of entitlement also, because you feel like you're entitled to respond and always be on that you're and a lot of times you'll miss out a lot on life when you just feel so entitled. You know, those people that are always quick to say something, they really don't know what the fuck's going on. I mean, I'm sorry, what's going on.
Right.
They feel they're so entitled to their opinion and that their opinion is so much higher shit that that entitlement can hinder them in growth topics. So that's why I feel like entitlement is part of that foundation of the relationship that in some cases can make or break it. And, you know, you may not feel like it breaks it up front, but it's just like a foundation in a home. That foundation, if it's built wrong, it's gonna keep the house standing up for years. But then eventually, when it's not built the right way and it's not built on the right sets of standards, eliminating certain types of entitlements and things like that, that house down the line is going to need some major repair or it's going to topple over. You know, so you got to think about that when you go entitled into certain relationships.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, when it comes to entitlement, this is one thing we got to keep in mind when it comes to that, though. One thing that we are absolutely all entitled to is our opinion, right? So with that being said, you know what I mean? That's why when it comes to people's opinions, since everybody's entitled to their own, like my man said, it's very subjective and it's up to you. So like I always say, if you choose to feel some type of way about it, you feel me? Because the actual thing of it is you can choose to not feel anything. You can choose to not be offended. Therefore, you're going to have no entitlement going into your relationships.
I love when you say that because it pisses people off so much, but it's so true.
It is. It's just one of those realities, y'all, that y'all just have to be willing to say, because you don't have to, but understand that you just have to be willing to accept certain things, and this is one of them. And just understand you don't have to accept it, but when you don't accept such things, just let yourself know you are dabbling with not having a firm grip on reality.
But you know why a lot of people don't like that? You know why they don't like that statement, though, right?
Yeah, I know why they don't, but once you go ahead and expound on it.
I mean, I feel like a lot of the time, you know, people, when you hold that mirror up, and that comment is forcing people to look directly in the mirror. I think a lot of people don't like to look in that mirror, man.
Right.
People hate that. And, you know, it's the flaws about themselves. But, you know, that's that self-entitlement. It goes right back to self-entitlement. But when you truly love, and I think it's a lack of love for themselves. Because when you truly love yourself, I mean, yeah, you may go back and forth with people and explain your opinion, but in the grand scheme of things, you really don't care because you feel you value your opinion to that point. You love yourself in whatever moves you make. So it is what it is. Right. But a lot of people, you hold that mirror up and they so self-entitled, they never really looked at the mirror. They hate to see some of the flaws in themselves that may be exposed by you holding that mirror up. And that's why you get that pushback a lot of time, bro.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. And I just want to go touch back on what you said earlier. You know what I mean? Shout out to Sinful to Pete, man. You got to learn how to, and as a man, especially, this is something that everybody should do, but especially as men. And this is something that I constantly have to remind myself of, and something that I work on for myself. Because, like I said, I'm a flawed individual. You hear me? But we definitely need to work on mentally responding versus emotionally reacting. You know what I mean? Because especially as men, and like I said, it's something that I ain't gonna say I struggle with, but something that I deal with, as I'm pretty sure we all do. But as men, we can't be emotional. We can't we can't be making decisions based off of how we feel. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I have a strong over, inner, outer, extra standing of. But at the same time, I'm human, and at times, you know, I could allow myself to be emotional. Notice I said allow. Notice I said allow. Nobody makes me emotional, just like nobody offends me unless I let them. Therefore, that means I'm choosing to be offended. So, you know what I'm saying? Entitlement is big, man. You feel me? Because even as men, you know, we come into situations entitled in the various relationships that we come into, even amongst us. You hear me? I'll be feeling like I'm entitled to take however long I want to take, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to recording tracks, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, that is subjective because, you know, I'll be like, you know, I'm busy or whatever. But at the same time, as a collective group, my brethren is like, nah, man, get on it, man. We're trying to get this done. You know what I'm talking about? And that's just a personal thing to show y'all, you know what I mean? To, you know, basically show you what we're talking about right now as far as entitlement. You know what I mean?
And like I said, this is not just like a lot of people might just want to think it was going to be just about relationships and black relationships
Right.
and whatnot. Like I said, this topic is so wide range. Like he said, it could be as simple as us with group decisions and the way we communicate through us. And yeah, sometimes some of us come in entitled with certain views, opinions, and like you said, it may be, look, I'm entitled to feel like I don't want to do this track right now. But the pressures is what it is, but it is what it is. That's a relationship. And as long as you have that open communication and dialogue, most of the time, if it is any problems, it's easy to get resolved because you have that open both sides. It has to be both sides. It has to be open on both sides with communication. And that's with any relationship.
Now, when it comes to entitlement, though, let me ask this question. When it comes to entitlement, and this y'all out there watching and listening, man, y'all can respond in the comment section to this too. When it comes to entitlement, men, I'm gonna ask my brethren first. My brethren, the men, are there some things we entitled to coming in a relationship, and the things that we are entitled to? You know what I mean? How I want to say this, man. The things we are entitled to, are they? We as men, should we make them non-compromisable?
Bro, how do I see the comments?
You might have to open it up another screen, you know what I'm saying, your computer.
Okay, just keep it. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep it
and just mute that joint. You hear me? So we don't get no feedback, pushback,
reverb. I was getting that back. All right, I see a render. Okay, I see Project Leroy. What's up, y'all?
Yeah, you see all my people in the building, man. Everybody, man, thank y'all coming out, man.
Yeah, thank you again for coming out. I see y'all on the other podcast, and I'm very appreciative that you would even come and tap in while I'm on here. And we're gonna just keep it moving.
Right.
But yeah, like you said, how y'all feel about entitlement? Like, what's y'all's opinions on entitlement? Because I feel like it's something that a lot of people that have a lot of, but I feel like it's something that we need to put kind of on the back end of the spectrum when we start the relationship. Now once you set certain standards in the relationship, certain things because that's the way it's always been, and if things start to change that you was used to or that y'all have always done, I mean, it is certain levels of entitlement that I can understand as you get later down in. But like I said, I don't feel like entitlement should be heavy in the part of your foundation, because your foundation should be based off of loyalty and respect and trust.
Right.
I feel like those are the three things, the foundation of any relationship. You want them to be loyal to you. You want to be able to trust them to be able to trust you, and you got to be able to work with offering respect.
Right.
Those are the three pillars to me of the foundation of a relationship. Everything else has to be kind of on the back burner when you're building it up at the beginning part of any relationship.
Right.
But yeah, like you said, Project Leroy, entitlement equals one selfish desires, and that's true. And we all gonna have our own desires, and they all, we have selfish ways. We all are, we love ourselves to the point where you want things to go your way. We get that.
Right.
But I just don't feel like, like I said, once you build your foundation, and that's what you base your relationship off of, if that foundation down the line, you're entitled to have that same foundation. Yeah,
right.
You grow and you change, but you are entitled to, that's what your relationship was based off of. So you are entitled to think it's going to be at least with those basic levels of foundation. But after that, like I said, at the beginning it's very slippery slope, and I just don't think that. I think that right now when you see people, you see single people talking super entitled, and I'm like, damn, you would think you married for 15 years the way you talking, and you single than a motherfucker,
right?
Like, but they entitled, and then when you look at the expectations, I'm like, unrealistic expectations, and that could be in anything, man, job, relationship. It's just a lot of people have these unrealistic expectations because they're entitled to their personal whatever it is.
Right.
And I think it hinders a lot of people in growth in life. But that's
no, that's a fact, because I'm gonna be even honest with you on that one, and I'm glad you said that though, because you know what I mean, in my life I've allowed that to mess up some things for me, to be all honest with y'all. You feel me? So, you know what I'm saying? It's just all about being open and transparent, man. You know what I'm saying? None of us, we ain't really perfect. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? It's just about being accountable for what you do. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, especially us as men, we got to be, like I say, we cannot, as men, allow how we feel to make us, have an impact on our decision making. My man Project Leroy said, yep, and we can see that the expectation doesn't lead to results when it comes to entitlement. Yeah, that's true. That's a fact. Now, let me say this, though, brothers. I want to see how the ladies feel about this one right here, man. Do y'all think there's certain things that, and now we ain't talking about just some bust down, some chick you smashing. We ain't talking about your little part of your roster or whatever you got going on. We talking about this is your lady, your woman, wifey, whatever you want to call them. Do y'all think that there's some things that a woman is entitled to upon you, as my man John Jay say, welcoming her into your kingdom? What about you, L? Oh, my man froze up. I don't know what's going on.
It's kind of going in and out, bro.
Yeah, you need to get your feed together over there, brother.
We back live. Go ahead, say that again for me, bro, because it was in and out. We back. I can hear you now. Repeat that last part, bro.
No, I just was saying, like, as a man welcoming a woman into your kingdom, like I said, well, I ain't talking about. Of course, we're not talking about bust downs, chicks. Like I said, if you had a roster going on, you was out here just single, whatever you're doing. I'm talking about if you talking about getting into a relationship with a chick. I'm talking about on taking her serious though. Do you think there's some things upon welcoming her into your kingdom, into your life, that a woman is entitled to?
She's entitled to protection, respect.
Right.
like I said, the 3 levels, the 3 pillars. Like for me to be loyal, if I'm really if my real intention with this woman is to make her mine or not mine, you know, I don't want to make it sound like possessive, but to make her my woman and my counterpart. Yeah, she's entitled to all of that. I mean, all women to me in my walk of life, I always treat them that way anyway. It's for I'm gonna give you that up front, and it's for you to lose it. You know,
Hold
I
on,
kind of
repeat that again, man.
so I'll give you the upfront pillars up front. I'm gonna be the most respectful dude. I'm gonna be the most loyal dude. I'm gonna be the most trustworthy dude. Now
Right.
it's up for you to lose that respect,
Mm.
trust, and loyalty. And that's the way I always move in any of my relationships in life, whether it's my job, my friends, whatever it is.
Right.
Like I know I'm gonna hold up my end of the bargain. I know myself. Like if anything, I feel like I be that way to a fault sometimes. But at the end of the day, these are the things that I've always based my relationships off of, and the way that I was taught to love through my family. And that's the way that I'm gonna always do it because it always, to me, seems the right way. And now if you do something to lose the loyalty, the trust, or respect, that's on you.
Right.
You know, now you gotta do some building, or it's just over with.
Right. My man Project Leroy says she's entitled to be molded into a woman representing a competent, confident, and driven man. I know that's right, man.
And you gotta respect her to do that, to
Right.
even think that way. And you gotta be loyal because you gotta be loyal to the point where you know you gonna rock with her because you ain't gonna do that with a lot of women unless you're trying to be a pimp. You know, that's really the only occupation that's going to make that acceptable. And with multiple women, so you know, you just gotta be. At the end of the day, a lot of people, you gotta be true to yourself too. Like it's one thing I seen Project Leroy say. You know, he said I had to learn to be a selfless person and to
Right.
help build others after. This is the most important part of this. After I built myself.
Right.
And this is another issue with the foundation is that people get into relationships where they search and seek out these relationships before they even know how to love themselves. And you can't fully wholeheartedly somebody else until you love yourself. And that's the very first stage of love is to love yourself.
Gotta say that.
A lot of people don't even know it. Like that's the sad part. A lot of people really don't love themselves and don't even know it. Walk around every day hating themselves. They may have love for other people or love other people, but they don't even love themselves. But you can't have a successful long-term relationship with somebody else until you love yourself because you don't really truly understand love.
Right. And I would even add on to that. Not only do you have to love yourself, and it's not that you don't love yourself, but what I'm finding out, especially, is that when it comes to being in relationships with people, man, you got to make sure that's something that you not only is really ready to do, you know what I mean, but in the process of doing it, especially I think for a man, is you got to make sure that this person who you is in a relationship with is on the same path that you on. You know what I'm saying? Or at least be willing to get on the same path that you on. You know what I'm talking about? And then that process, you know, you could not say you don't love yourself in that process though, but you know, you can find that maybe when you in the pursuit of doing what it is you're doing, that might not line up with what is conducive to a long-term relationship with somebody at that point anyway, or at you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and to kind of bounce off of that, or it ain't always it. I feel like you always got to be on the same path, but as long as y'all at least are supportive of the path, and you can be supportive to a point. You don't want to be supportive to a fault, to where you lose everything and whatever it is. But you have to at least be supportive to help the person try to reach what they trying to, whatever path they're trying to get to. Because the thing is, what happens is if you're not, then later down the line, it may be a little bit of resentment. And that's something else that also seep into the relationship and can kill it.
Right. And I will say this before we go into the. Well, go ahead, man. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just that's pretty much it. I was just saying, you don't want that resentment. That resentment's a whole other level that tear down the foundation. But yeah.
And one thing too, I want to say is when getting into a relationship, this is, and I'm not saying like I'm a because I'm not no relationship guru, man. I'm not none of that. I'm just speaking on my personal experience from what I've been through. I'm not sitting here giving nobody no advice. I'm not sitting here saying like I'm the know all, end all, be all, or none of that. I'm just saying from my person. What I'm saying is when it comes to a relationship, and this is me learning this as well, even at the age of 40, that if the Most High ain't speak to you, you hear me, and tell you to pursue that relationship, you probably shouldn't do it. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
That's deep.
You know what I'm saying? How about that? See, when you put it in that aspect, when you put it in that perspective right there, that has all of us looking at our relationships if we are in one. It has you have to pose the question to yourself. Did the Most High ordain that union? So that's gonna be another topic for another day, man. You feel me? Maybe we can get into that next Tuesday or something. But though, I mean, he as a bullet point was relationships on here, but the whole just the way we're talking about, any interaction between us humans is a relationship to some degree. So even if we're interacting with each other digitally through this here YouTube, we are engaging in a relationship of conversation right now. So you know what I'm saying? And that's what it is too when it comes to relationship too. You got, maybe a lot of relationships don't work out, not because of many other things, but one of the main things is because people still have to work on themselves. It's like Cupcake just said, you know what I'm saying? You're in the process of building yourself, and along the line, getting in a relationship with somebody could either hinder that, you know what I'm saying, for various reasons, some your own, or some of the reasons could also be because being in that relationship, you so focused or trying to focus on the relationship that is kind of deterring you on your purpose. So you know what I'm saying, you got to make sure you stay focused on your purpose, just like my brother John Jay say, man. You got to stay focused on your purpose, fellas, and in the process. And this is something as men we got to realize that in the process of pursuing our purpose, a relationship, especially long term, may not be conducive for you at a certain point. And when you're doing that, so that leads me back to what I just said about if the Most High didn't ordain that, if He didn't speak to you. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna say none of that. God, you'll understand. I'm son the Most High. You hear me? You ain't hear that voice telling you like, yeah, you probably shouldn't be even entertaining the relationship anyway, serious or long term. So focus on that purpose. Something that I'm learning for myself as well. So you know what I'm saying? Like it ain't like we just over here proselytizing like so we just chopping up game. So, and this is a perfect segue into this next bullet point because, with all the rigmarole going on social engineering on these various platforms, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, got them with Twitter, you know what I'm saying, Instagram, what we're seeing is what my man L put in the bullet point, the big divide, the great divide, which is one of these euphemism terms that I feel that I know, right, is being done on purpose, though. But when it comes to the divide, L, man, speak on it, man. What you mean by the divide?
Man, I mean, right now, the divide is everywhere. I mean, let's just rewind back to, let's say, March 2020, right after COVID just first hit.
Right.
COVID hit and shut everything down March 17th. I remember that because I was about to go party for St. Patrick's Day. And no, I'm not about to listen to none of y'all black woke people. Yes, I do party on St. Patrick's Day. But all right, I remember. So me and you, it was crazy because we was having some discussions around this time too. This when you first started doing your podcast.
Right.
And I remember we did a series of shows back then. But the divide to me started getting worse. And the pre-program that I feel like a lot of the stuff you was talking about when it started really coming into fruition was around this time. I would say like more in the May, June, but this is when the time starts. So we're gonna get to it. Time set March 2020. First we start, you know, they lock us down, they put us in the house. So everybody's just basically in the house, not barely even go food, like really locked down. And what do they start feeding people? They start, and this is, you know, one thing you can always do is pull people by the emotional strings. And one of the most emotional things is race. So this is when you started having a lot of killings put on TV in front of people. Made it seem like it was happening damn near every day. Like if you ask somebody how many cop killers was in a year, they probably would have told you 100 at least. So, but that's what was always in front of you. And as we know, you only privy to the knowledge that's in front of you,
right?
What you see daily. And a lot of people make assumptions, whether true or false, all for shit that they see daily. And I think this is what happened in that time where they started pulling on the emotional strings. And then it even went to the part where they started pulling on the vaccine strings. Are you vaxxed? Are you not vaxxed? Blah, blah. Like the divide was just happening everywhere. It happened. It was a Trump before that. Are you Trump? Are you voting Republican? You vote for Trump? Fuck you. I don't like you. I disown my family members. You know, it's to the point where
it'll be easy on the F-bombs, brother.
Okay, all right, yeah, my bad.
You can curse just on them F-bombs though. For some reason, you be bugging on the F-bombs, man.
Yeah. And so when you look at the way that all this was happening, and like we sitting back, me and you had, like I said, a lot of discussions on this, but you started seeing the divide amongst people where people was willing to divide everything. It was the man versus woman that we hear all the time, the black woman versus the black man, the blacks versus the Asians, the whites. It just was everything. Like, I mean, I could probably name about 20, 30 different verses that went on in these last 2 years that just drove people crazy, insane, to where it's like right now everybody's at a divide. Are you ex-gen or millennial? What shit is like it's just everything is a fucking divide. And I always go back to my way. You know, you follow the money. You know, or in this case, it ain't even money. Is you follow the vision. What's the best way to conquer people?
Divide.
It's hard to get a lot of people when they all together. It's hard to infiltrate people when they all standing together, super strong. You know, but the easiest way to get people and to really fuck them, I mean, mess them up for take over, is to divide people.
Right.
And I think the plan it worked. Like right now, it's kind of like a calm right now. It's a little calm. Stuff started to rise up here and there, but at the same time, it's really calm right now. But think of this time 2 years ago, people was rioting in the streets.
Right.
And if they want, they could get that popping again. They could pull on your strings. All they gotta do is let a couple cops off in the road and do something that's crazy.
Right.
They already pulling on your strings with the shootings that happen, you know, and I ain't saying because that stuff is wrong. It is. Trust me. Like, I mean, yeah. I mean,
that's what we want. We don't want that type of situation. That's not what we pay taxes for and all that.
No.
Type of, man.
I seen where they shot the dude 60 times in Akron. And then they let the one dude who just killed like 4 people, shot like 28 people, just walk like, you know, yeah, we tired of seeing that. And I am too, like, trust me.
Right.
But, you know, we also got to understand why it's put up in front of us, when it's put up in front of us. Mm-hmm. When it's a political year, when it's a year where a lot of elections is going on and people trying to get into office. You know, think about where it's the battleground states and where all this news comes from. And you know, it still don't matter because when it happens, and no matter what morally you're thinking about it, it ain't supposed to happen. But also think about why it's getting to you, when it's getting to you, because a lot of stuff be like maybe a year old and maybe like 5, 6 months old, and you just hearing about it. It's always a rhyme and a reason to what's going on in front of you, especially when it's the media.
That's
And
a fact.
I always just try to tell people, just don't let it divide you, no matter what. Let people have their opinions. When I see people talk about, I'm not going to talk to my family because they simply had a different opinion, or their friends, or whoever it is, just because they had a simple opinion. I know I'm one of the people who, if you have a debate with me, I'm going to debate you. Don't start a debate with, but don't also get mad and then just be like, you know, people. I don't get this where they shut down when somebody has a difference of opinion, and then they just want to just disown the person. Like, I'm sorry, I can never get behind that. That's just a me. I allow people. You could be a Ku Klux Klan member, and me and you could sit down and have a discussion. And I'm gonna ask you the questions that I want to ask. You know, as
Right.
long as it's the respect. I mean, you know, it's going. I want you to say how you feel. I want you to be you and be yourself. And I don't get disrespected off of little little stuff like other people do. Like little stuff that don't hit me like it hit people. Like some stuff I can see and I'll be like, that to me ain't what y'all making it to be. It
Right,
don't
right,
warrant the energy. Like, and you know, a lot of y'all give too much energy into what's going on, and that energy is dividing y'all amongst the people. And this is the thing with all relationships. Like I said, political in your relationship with your
right.
partner, all of this. Like the divide, like in a relationship, it's equivalent to that friend that hates you, or got some vendetta against you that might just be planting stuff in your girl or your man's head, and that's the flip side of it. We were talking
Right,
about the political, but if you want to take it to relationship, it's people to do it that way too. You know,
right.
you know what I mean. So it's all that you gotta. Whenever you in a relationship with what you doing, you got to be focused on that relationship, and we won't bring it back to the conversation. When you in that, don't let other outside people or entities or people's opinions or any of that divide you from who you love or around. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or what you
Exactly,
think,
man.
your opinion, the way you move, because that could also affect you in business. If you got an idea, you be like letting the outside people, oh, you can't do that. You ain't gonna win. You ain't nah. Your mindset gotta be you gonna do whatever you want to do. Like Verge, he doing this right now. He doing this podcast. I'm pretty sure you had people that probably told him you couldn't do this. You ain't gonna be successful with this. And here you are, one of the most liked people. You know, so that's what it's about, man. Don't let no outside people divide you up from your people, because once that happens, they conquer. What happened a lot of time, people divide you up. They gonna conquer the situation, and then they gonna go to what they divided you from. How many times you heard about somebody circling back on a friend after y'all broke up,
Right.
or something, or going back and doing the idea like if Virgin ain't do this, somebody will come back around and they gonna try to sit in the same seat and do the same thing he do. After they told him to try to break his will to get him to stop doing it, and
Right.
then they gonna come around and try to monetize and do what he do. Like that's how people do, man. So
That's exactly how people do.
you know, you just got to be wary of that, man. Just don't never let no outside influences divide you up and and conquer you from what you're trying to do.
Right. Andrea R, what's up, baby girl? How you doing? Got my girl Juju in the building.
What's
Make
this
sure
about?
y'all meet and greet each other, man. Yeah, man, the divide is real. And we see it on all social engineering platforms. Like I said earlier, basically, this is what we're saying. And this divide is being done intentionally. Now, what I will say about the divide is that in the process of bringing in a new system, and going into a new paradigm, a new way of thinking, in this Renaissance era we in, some division is necessary, because I understand in the process of trying to bring together, there's going to be some division. And that's one of them things I'll be talking about, y'all, when I say that we as human beings are contradictory by nature. Manipulated nature, but nature nonetheless. And with that being said, we got to understand over inner outer extrastand, when we let it get to the level of cognitive dissonance, that's when it becomes an issue. And we got to have these conversations. But when it comes to the divide, y'all, the divide is real. And the divide has its positive aspects. You hear me? Because out of the divide, when it's done righteously, when it's done with the best intentions, what's for the best of all of us is exposing hypocrisy, effery, and all types of things that could be put in front of us to distort our perception of what's really going on. How about that? And that could be through various things, but when we're talking about this divide amongst us, specifically us Black people, like I always tell people, and like El spoke on earlier, it's being done intentionally, like I said, systematically. You know what I mean? And we got to be able to realize how that's being done. But in exposing this mind effery, right, we got to realize that there's going to be some division. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those things about human nature. We're not divisive by nature, but in process of doing what's for the better of us all, it's going to be some division, because some people don't want to do what's best for all. They want to do like what El said earlier, do what's best for them. And you know what I'm saying? That can get tricky too, because one of our human natures is a part of our human nature is self-preservation. But when it gets to a level of self-glorification, that's when we get into another aspect. So when it comes to this divide, like I said, it's being done intentionally, and you have to be able to have the foresight to see why. Like I said, you got to be able to have the sight to see, which we all do, but just don't know it. The sight to see what's going on. Why is this divide happening? And the main thing I always tell y'all when it comes to stuff like this is the first thing we should always ask is cui bono? Who benefits? Who benefits from this great divide amongst us, especially as Black people, you know what I'm saying, with this whole thing, with this so-called fake gender war between Black men and Black women. You know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to this, of course, we all have participated into whatever level and extent we have, whether it be through Facebook, any form of social engineering. But, and this is where I say some division is needed, because in exposing certain truths, there's going to be some division, because like I said, some people are so adhered, some people are so genetically connected to what they believe or what they feel.
So Stacks, you gotta stay right here. Don't go no further.
Right.
I want you to stay here on what you're saying, and I just got a question. I'm gonna ask you.
Go ahead.
Why do you feel the truth is so hurtful to people nowadays? Like, why are you demonized by telling the truth?
That's an easy answer. Is because we've been programmed, like I just said, to accept the lie and not the truth. To the point to where when we are exposed to say a truth, we automatically reject it, because it does what? It challenges our perception. It challenges our conditioned view of reality. And that can expound on every aspect of reality, whether it be in your relationships, at work, or whatever, like we've just been discussing. But the base thing is that this distortion is what causes the division. You feel me? We all have our convoluted, to some degrees, distorted perceptions of reality. Whether it be identity roles, gender roles, society, whatever it is. You know what I mean? So when it comes, like I said, this divide is real. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, the divide is being done intentionally. And like El spoke on earlier, the best way to conquer somebody is to divide them. You know what I mean? And this is something that I always speak on, y'all. Like I said, I ain't never on no kumbaya, none of that. I'm speaking on reality and what's real. You hear me? Like the division is being done intentionally, and I speak on it because it's happened at such a degree now where it's right in our face. We are being ever so divided along illusory lines of race, societal image, financial bracket, education status, whatever your education level is. You know what I mean? Gender. We're being so divided. You know what I mean? And it's making that much more easier, you hear me, to conquer. Especially when we being hit it with so many things from so many angles to where we can't really focus on nothing. So that just makes it more, like I said, that just makes your stronger connection to what you just adhere to and not look at anything else, which contributes to more division. See, in order to, like I said, in order to bring together, there's going to be some division, but out of that, you got to be able to have the outlook to where you want to bring people together, right, on some like-minded type shit, but understand and accept that in your process of doing that, there's going to be some division, man. You know what I mean? Because the worst thing you can do is impose yourself on somebody. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that I don't do. That's one thing we totally go against over here at A Real Talk Media LLC, A Real Talk Podcast. Everybody's entitled to whatever they want. Like I said, over here, we have the mental fortitude to sit up here and challenge you on whatever you say intellectually before we ever, you know what I mean? We ain't going to do that over here, man. Everybody can speak their mind over here. All views and opinions, especially the ones I vehemently disagree with, are welcome. And that right there, see that right there, y'all, having that outlook right there, this goes back to choosing to be offended. You know what I mean? We get to a place to where we stop allowing ourselves to be offended. Shout out to some people, emotionally responding and versus mentally, mentally responding versus emotionally reacting. You know what I'm saying? When we as a society, so to speak, get to the point to where we don't allow that to rule our judgment and thinking, especially how our interaction in our relationships, you know, we could get to a place where we could actually start having these real conversations where some solutions come about them. Because one thing for sure, two things for certain, it don't matter how you feel. You know what I'm saying? How you feel really don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to, you know, the rest of us. You know, how you feel, how does you feel, how I feel, how I feel. You might not feel how I feel, and I might not feel how you feel, but we got to think what we can do to create a situation to where we all mutually benefit, and I can still feel how I feel, and you can still how you feel how you feel. You know what I mean? And like I say, as men, man, we absolutely cannot, especially in today's era, we cannot allow our decision to be governed by how we feel. I'm telling you right now, as a man who's made decisions based off how he feels, it landed me in the joint. So that's not what you should be doing.
That's not cool.
3 times. So that's not how you should go about making your decisions based off of how you feel. You better know what's going on. And this goes back into relationships. Get into the relationship, whatever relationship you get into, whether it be with a job. Don't go fill out an application at a job and go work the job, and then you get there working, and then you like, oh, I want to quit because I don't like it. Type stuff, you know, to get a relationship and see that, you know, you still got some stuff you got to work on for yourself. You know what I mean? That could go both ways for the man's side and the woman's side. You know what I mean? So that divide is real, y'all. What my man Project Leroy say, you already know. Don't forget to smash that like button.
Like, share, comment,
all that,
subscribe.
Man. That. Make sure y'all
hit both of those. You know what I mean? I'm about to start putting some content out too.
Yeah, man.
We gotta start going.
Let's start taking advantage of the
We're gonna start doing this.
The technology tries to take more advantage of us, or you know, try to, you know.
As you see, I'm getting the studios put up downstairs.
Right.
You know, I got the
blue
wall.
Together. I see you got your mic together and your whole situation administration, man.
I got a sound card, but I don't know how to do it. I was trying to do the applause and all that. Like, it's supposed to have all that, but we're gonna work on that for another time. But nah, yeah, like you said, the buy is real, man. It's crazy how much it. and it's so easy to have, like, they plant those seeds out there and people just run with it, and it's so easy to happen.
Right.
You know, so I guess when you talk about it like in a relationship aspect, and like I want you to kind of touch on, like you said, the social media aspect of it, because I think this is like one of the problems that really affects us. And I see, especially with you, like, you know, you one of the best people I think could touch on this, because you speak on a lot of controversial things that I would say a lot of us think, but we don't really say it the way you say it. But it's like I tell people, like, because even when I say stuff and people get mad at me.
Yeah, you're right. I just saw that, Andrew. It is a class system. That's definitely what it is. They created, and this is, listen, and I'm gonna let my man L finish saying what he's saying, but I just want to say this real quick because I just paid attention to what Andrea R said. It's like a class system, and actually, it's a caste system. CASTE caste system. They have the Brahmic caste system in India, and it's still operating to this day. And the caste system they putting over here, this is why I tell y'all to read Brave New World. You hear me? Now Pete Gang, walk with me. You hear me? Caste system in Brave New World was divided up in 4 levels: Alpha, Sigma, Beta, Epsilon. Right? Now think about what this whole fake gender war they got going on, especially amongst us Black people on social engineering. Think about the 2 words that has been put into the lexicon, right, to desensitize, preemptively program our psyche to get ready for this type of situation: beta, alpha. See, and this is why this is why I like to have these conversations. This is why one of the main reasons why I created this platform, because if we got to start talking about this stuff, because this is what's going on. Now think about that. Think of how we being already preemptively programmed by our very language. This is why I say we got to pay attention to language. This is why I tell y'all study etymology. You hear me? We're being predisposed to this stuff. You know what I mean? Alpha, beta. So now that they start bringing in the whole Roe v. Wade situation, and now they're about to start bringing in different contraceptive measures and making baby deletion before they born illegal, and also penalizing dudes for getting chicks pregnant. Man, it's crazy. Hold on, let me finish. Think about that, then go back to Brave New World when I be talking to y'all about the hatcheries and genetically modified, engineered, where babies are grown, and tie it all together with the LGBTQ LMNOP barbecue committee agenda, getting everybody confused about gender, so they get what? Perceptually prepared for a society where there's no gender, which is leading to, right, everything we talking about right now. You see, it's all connected, man. You feel me? So it's all connected. You feel me? And that's why I say it's good to have these conversations, man. Now, what you saying, El? Go ahead.
Nah, I'm listening to you right now, because I remember we read that book in high school.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of this shit is all connected to I think people just gotta wake up. When they have these back and forth debates and they start dividing themselves amongst Black women, Black men, and all this different stuff that we're going through, like, at the end of the day, we just gotta know we are all here. We're gonna be here together. We should all love each other to love first. I don't know why it's so much hatred for everybody going everybody going at each other. Like I said, it's like 30 different verses going on amongst everything, from communities to Black to, like, it's so bad that the Black community, the only community that goes at each other, like, as if we ain't gotta go against the Asians, the whites, or whoever else. Like, I ain't got no beef with nobody.
Right.
Like, look, I'm a lover. I'm a lover.
He said, I'm a lover.
I'm a lover. And we'll fight. But at the end of the day, it's just, Love, man. I don't know why people be walking around so angry, man. When you wake up, you gotta think it's a blessing. I think the divide happens. It starts in the mind, and it goes back to what we was talking about in the very beginning of the foundation, being self-entitled to dumbass. My fault. Dumb. Uh, nah. Bad opinions. Let me say it the right way. I want to say it the right way. I want to be politically correct. Like you just gotta trust.
My
That's all
brother
it's
John
about.
Jay in the building. What's good with the big homie John Jay, man? What's popping?
I don't see no updates.
What
Where
you
you
mean?
seeing the comments at? Is it new comments coming in?
Yeah, all you gotta do is look on the YouTube and hit the share button, bro. Hit the chat, live chat, and you can see everybody chatting on your other page you got open.
I don't see none of that shit.
Yeah,
But
everybody,
we
everybody up there,
appreciate all
everybody.
y'all for coming through.
Yeah, already know, man. Listen here, man. Hit that like button, just like my man Project Leroy said. Hit that subscribe bell, all of that, man. Appreciate everything. You know what I'm saying? Everybody coming out. Like I said, y'all could be anywhere in the world, but y'all right here with us. You know what I'm saying? Now, just to and to bring it back to the social engineering, social media, right? And this is why I call it social engineering, y'all, because that's exactly what it is. It is engineering society to think in these little remember I talked to y'all about compartmentalization, breaking up the psyche. They have all these different identities you can use to get a sense of self from. Like I say, we just talked about the other day, Facebook got damn near 80, they got 78 something different identities you can use to identify yourself with, which contributes to further breaking up the psyche, which is division. You know what I'm saying? Understand we being made, like my man L touched on back in 2020 when all this stuff happened, when the lockdown happened, everybody was locked down and it just was forcing us to be divided and separated
It
from
felt,
ourselves
you know what it felt like?
on mad levels too.
It felt like the Hunger Games.
And this is why I say Hunger Games society.
That's exactly what it felt like.
The Hunger Games society is not even on the way, it's here. You know, we experiencing food shortages, or so they say.
Yeah, where all the chickens go?
You know where all the chickens go.
Why B Dubs charging $14 for a 6 piece? I couldn't believe that shit. I was about to go, man. I was about to order the other day. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm pissed off my fault. I'm ranting right now. Y'all gotta feel this pain. So I'm on here. I'm looking on the website. I'm a member of everything on the website. I think I get perks and all that. And these, man, I couldn't believe it. I go to get the buy one get one free. I'm like, all right, let me get the 6 piece. Give me a nice 12 piece. Thinking it might be like 10, 12 bucks. It was 14, like 50 or something. I'm like, are you serious? 14 bucks for 6 wings? Nah, bro. Like, that ain't the move, man. Where is all the chickens going? Where they at?
And they got chickens on deck, man. Pollo Locos. They got chickens on deck, man. See,
Yeah.
and
They ain't got no issue at the Mexican restaurants.
and that's what I'm saying, man. That all of this stuff going on is part of the division, but because we being separated and divided along all these different fault lines of illusory things, man, and it's keeping us like in a cage, so to speak, man. You know what I'm saying? Like a cage. And then like I say, we being ever more divided because we being forced, like the kids was forced to go to school online. I want y'all to understand. I'm gonna just say this real quick. I want y'all to understand the effect of being in the house that long that has had on our children. I want y'all to understand that was done intentional and that was done for certain reasons, and that's going to be we're going to start seeing, as we already are, we're going to start seeing the effects of that within the next 2 to 3, 5 years of our children coming into their early teens, late mid teens to 20s. We're going to start seeing the effect of that because
You don't think it had started before that? Or
oh,
like
it started. Wait, I'm talking about we're gonna see
like
it like as far as like, you know, as children develop and going to a young adults, we're gonna start really seeing how that's really affected them. You know what I'm saying? And
I think
that's part of the division right there as well. What you say?
no, I mean to touch on what you're talking about, I think it started, kind of about 10 years before then when they started that video game generation with
Oh
the
yeah,
YouTube.
it started before then, but we're
And they
talking
put
about as far as right
outside.
now. And with that specific situation, though, because that's never happened before in American history. You hear me? So, you know what I'm saying? For my daughter falls in that, and a lot of other kids, you know, that's the Zennials and all that, generate all whatever, you know, they were severely affected by that. And we're going to start seeing that in society as we already are. So, like I said, we're being pushed to be ever more so divided along so many fault lines of division that it's easy to come in and keep us all divided and argue amongst ourselves with stuff like gender wars and stuff, which is some valid stuff in that. Now, let's not take away from that, though. It's some things that need to be discussed, some things that need to be brought to the forefront. But see, if you keep the people focused on just arguing with each other versus having conversations, right, and really looking at what's going on so we can see the indoctrination, because it's a paper trail behind this. This is not just something that happened out of the blue. This is programming. This is society. This is engineering. This is social engineering, and we seeing the results of hundreds of years of within what's been 200 something years of programming. You hear me? I mean severe programming. And, you know what I mean? And we all been subjected to it on so many levels that when it comes to actually talking about said indoctrination and manipulation, you're going to get that kickback. And that's what we're seeing with the so-called gender wars and everything we being manipulated into being divided by.
That's deep right there. You going deep right there.
We got to go deep. And this is what I want to say. It's not so much as going deep, y'all. We gotta think open. You gotta open. Don't think deep about things, y'all.
You gotta think open.
You gotta, because you can think deeply about some messed up shit. You hear me? Yeah. You can think deeply about doing some very, very nasty, mean shit. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I say think openly, have an open mind. And when we have these conversations, when you come to with an open mind versus a closed mind, right? Then that's when you fall into the division and identifying with the numerous identities there are for you to get a sense of self from, which is contributing to even more division. And that's contributing to division even within yourself.
There you go.
You know, that ain't even got nothing to do with nobody else. And see this division thing goes deep. You know what I mean? It actually does go deep, but in order to understand it, you got to be able to think open about it. And I will say this too: at some point, you're gonna have to remove your emotions from it too, and that's the key thing, because that's how they keep us locked into the frequency and the hive mind collective. Y'all hear me talking about? It's through emotions.
So how would you suggest people do that? How would you suggest them disconnect like Neo from the Matrix? How would you tell them to disconnect from all that?
And then, like I said,
what would be your solution to that?
My solution to that would be is to work on being honest with yourself. We all have our flaws, and we all know what we need to work on. We all know what we're doing that's short of what we know we could possibly doing, or maybe even fact should be doing. We need to focus on that. We are grown adults. Like I said, it's up to us when we become adults to heal ourselves, or to even pursue the process of starting the ongoing lifelong healing process, which never is like done. You're never like healed and like, oh, I'm healed and like I'm good. No, it's an ongoing lifelong process. You have to be vigilant about that, man. You know what I mean?
Do you think therapy helps with that?
Therapy
do you think that's something you like?
It can help. It depends, but it only will help if you want it to help. You know what I mean? And therapy comes in various forms, not necessarily going to a shrink and sitting on a chase lounge and just spilling out all your life's secrets and stuff like that. Although that may be helpful for some people. But this right here is therapy right here as well. It's very cathartic, having these discussions, because when we talk about it, you know what I'm saying, I think about how we interacting with each other as we're having this discussion. This is contributed to the division, because it would be more effective if we were having these conversations in person.
So would you say that the reason people don't have these discussions is because it shines a self-reflection light on them.
Exactly. And some people, like in the Matrix, you referred to them just like that. Some people, like Morpheus told me, some people just don't want to let go. It's not that they can't let go; they can. They just don't want to. You know, it's comfortable for people to just hold on to their illusions. I'll repeat that.
Yeah.
And I've done this myself. I've been I ain't gonna say a victim, but I've fallen short to this myself. You know what I'm saying? We become identified with our illusions. You hear me? You
And
know,
that happens to a lot of us.
right.
It's so easy to fall victim to false illusions. And that's why a lot of us hold ourselves back from what we really want to do truly in life.
Right.
You know? And I think it's something that, you know, us as a culture, I will say that we lack in this. That's why we don't have as much equity as a lot of people that can come into our country and do things before we can. Is because we don't have that as much as other people, or we don't practice it. I feel like in our own realm or where we come from, especially where we come from. It's not taught. It's not the cool thing to open up and be yourself. You gotta portray an image that you probably not for most of your life until you move out of the environment that you're in. You gotta have these false illusions and go chase these false goals that mean nothing to anything that will help you ever in your life. And you know, I think a lot of that, like you said, is definitely programmed because it's what the kids see
Sure.
on, you know, and I can't even say it's bad parenting because no matter how much you parent your kids, you can't lock them up to what they see in the everyday world, what their desires may be. As um, my man Project Larry talked about earlier, you know, the desires, selfish desires that come up
Right.
that might hold you back. You know, all that. That's why I said this topic is so much. It's not just about relationships. You tie this into business. You know, you can have these false illusions of where you might think you may should be in your career, or you know you could be right sometimes. You know, sometimes you should be going for more than what you should think that you're at that moment.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to say, you know, but like I said, it starts with that foundation that you have to build to gain that trust of a company or wherever you're at, to where you feel like you built that, you did what you did. Once you lay that groundwork, people respect you. You're loyal to the company. You've done everything you could to build whatever you did, and when you think you should be on this level and you don't, sometimes it's cool to have that divide, as Verge talked about. Sometimes the divide is not always bad,
Right.
you know, in
Right.
certain situations. Like,
Sometimes the divide is necessary.
you can tie it to a relationship. You know what I mean? If you've always been loyal, you've always respected the person, the trust has been there on your side, and you know they start to have the cracks, like we said, self entitlement, just whatever it could be to crack in the relationship. Maybe they broke the loyalty, they broke the trust, whatever it may be. Maybe they didn't respect you in certain situations for a certain amount of time. All that builds up. Like I said, this is stuff that you apply in any relationship with the cops. Like you said, we see them every day. You know that yeah, they're supposed to protect, but if we see them start doing all this stuff that don't help progress the neighborhood, start deteriorating it, then you know you have that distrust. Like I said, this happens for any relationship, so we always got to think about that in everything. Like I said, and I just circle all the way back to the beginning of what we talked about in the beginning. So the solution to that, you know, like you said, Burge, I feel like people just have to stop with the false illusions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easier to do that, I feel like, if you just try to take time to know yourself. And sometimes something that we lack in our community, I will say, is therapy, amongst even just talking and having open dialogue and not being closed. Nowadays, people are programmed to be closed. and being this shelter. That's what we talk. What I was also referring to about the kids is being the video game generation. These kids are so closed that even when you tell them anything of any authoritative asset, that's when they have these breakdowns and shit happens. Like, and any time you hear about disconnect, that's normally what it comes from. It's not like it was something that was like so far fetched or anything. It just was something that was a self entitlement issue, and it is what it is, man. It's a disconnect in society as a whole. People are so closed; they don't want to think outside the box. They only think one way, and they feel like once you don't think that same way and that sheep mentality, as we used to talk about stacks,
right.
that sheep mentality is something that people they gonna jump off the cliff if everybody else do it.
Right.
If you close mind to thinking, if you ain't open to new ideas, new thoughts, for one, you ain't gonna grow. You start your growth if you don't think it, or if you're not open to new ideas.
Right.
And then you can't build. Like, how can you build if you're not open to new ideas?
Right.
Because you can't build everything yourself. You gotta have certain counterparts. Like the smartest people or the most successful people that you know in life, they not good at everything. One thing they're good at is knowing how to put people in position in their lives that are strong at what they do and the best of what they do that helps them be the best that they can be. And that's what you do with relationships in life. You got to put the best relationships in your life for you to be successful. But first, you got to understand and know yourself, love yourself.
Definitely.
And you got to be real with yourself. Like, if you ain't real with yourself and you let a lot of these illusions like drive you crazy, break up your relationships, sometimes when you think that it's them, but it's you, we've all been there. We all know that, we all could sit back and think of a time like, damn, I messed that situation up.
Yes.
Like we all could think back to a time where we did that.
Right.
And it could be whether it was business where you felt like, man, I could have got more money off that situation if I'd have stayed with that company or did this way. And one thing I'll say is never live in regret. Just learn from the situation and then don't let it beat you up.
Right.
In any relationship, like learn from the relationship. Wherever you went wrong, think back to it. And sometimes you may not have went wrong, but I would say a lot of the time you could think of maybe something that you probably could have did it just a little better than anything, and you learn. And that's all we can do. Like you said, we are not perfect.
At all.
None of us are perfect. We are all working pieces of art, trying to mold ourselves into the perfect mold, and we'll never mold it perfectly, but we can at least try to mold it as best as we can daily. As long as we try to progress and make it the best piece of artwork to present.
Right.
So by the end, people can walk past that and admire it. Then that's all we can do. That's what we're here for. So, those relationships is what you build to create your legacy. And that's what it's about, legacy at the end of the day.
That's exactly generational wealth. And when it comes to your relationship, when it comes so, and when it comes to your relationships, the various relationships they may be, you know what I'm saying? One solution that I know that going forward in all my relationships, I'm going to focus on open communication, which is why I created this platform. Because out of open communication comes plans of action, and out of plans of action comes actual things coming into fruition. You know what I'm saying? Which is one of the reasons why I started the platform. And like I said, that's why we focusing on solution-based content. Another solution, like I said, which is why I created the platform, is to have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? And this is what's going on as a result of the divide. You know what I'm saying? The divide is contributing to the destruction of conversation, which in essence is the destruction of the freedom of speech, which at its base root is the destruction of the freedom to think. Right? You know what I'm saying? When it becomes dangerous to say what you think, and what you feel becomes more important, that's when we at a dangerous point, y'all. And that's the reason why we got to have these conversations, because, you know what I'm saying, with all the division going on, one of the major solutions could be is how we, not how we fight, because we always end up becoming that which we fight against, as we see with this fake gender war and the going back and the forth.
It's about the communication.
You got to be able to communicate, and outside of being able to communicate, be willing to communicate with people who you probably wouldn't necessarily agree with on some things, and seeing how y'all could come to a common ground and remove your emotion from it and work out what's beneficial for everybody.
Right.
That's solution-based content right there. But in order to do that, we have to have a collection of like-minded people as well as people who aren't like-minded. You know, a society is at a point where it's on some change from the norm or how it's been programmed to be, breaking away from the matrix. When it's a society, and this is a truly free society, is a society where everybody is allowed. Now, and when I say this, y'all, I want y'all to think with foresight. I want y'all to think with adult intelligence, the intelligence of the Most High, which we all have in us, man, potentially, possibly. When we say the freedom to do what we want, say what we want, understand, over and out understand. When I say that, I don't mean no types of BS, because in a truly free society, nobody wants to do anybody any harm. Nobody wants to rob anybody or get over anybody or finesse anybody. It won't be no need to, because in a free society, right? And you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to them solutions, man, the solutions is interacting with people who you normally wouldn't interact with. You hear me? Engaging in conversation and interaction physically if you can. Because you see with this whole thing, how we was on lockdown, we being ever more manipulated into not physically interacting with each other. And when we interact with each other through these devices and this technology, it creates a situation where when we actually do come into physical contact with each other, we're bumping heads, as we see with all the stuff we see on the social engineering and the, you know, the mainstream media. How we just getting pummeled. I'm talking about psyche just getting pummeled with everything and just destroying us mentally, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, destroying us. You hear me? And we don't say something about it, have a discussion about it. It's going to get to a point just like in 1984 where we won't be speaking about it, which means we ain't going to be thinking about it. Because your freedom to speak is directly connected to your freedom to think. And this is why our freedom of thought is under 100% attack. But, within that, like I said, it's going to come some division. And we have to, like I said, we always end up becoming that which we fight against. That's why we shouldn't be fighting against anything. We should not be complying and not acquiescing and challenging. You feel me? Don't get emotionally attached, just challenge. You feel me? When we hear these people coming on YouTube, you know, agent provocateurs, as I call them, we got to call these people out. But understand, in your process of calling out the effery and calling out the hypocrisy, you are in turn becoming that which you fight against. So stop fighting. That's the basis and the moral of that story is stop fighting. Non-compliance and non-acquiescence. Look those two words up, non-comply or comply and acquiesce. Look those two words up. You hear me? So it's a lot of solutions to be had, man. It's just all, are we going to be the generation to actually come up with some solutions? Because I'm telling you, it's going to be up to us, late millennials, early millennials, people my age, L's age, born between, let's say, like 1980 and 1988. You hear me? You got to think about how important our generation is, y'all. We was the last generation that experienced this world before this technology came in. And I want y'all to understand, I want y'all to understand how serious that is. That gives us a point of reference, a frame of reference to remember what society was like before this came in. And I want y'all to understand, I want y'all to understand how important that is. how vital that is and what that actually means as far as the implications for what's to come and what's here right now. You gotta unmute your mic.
I thought, yeah, nah, I said that's the last of the dying breed right there, bro.
Yeah, you know, our generation is the last generation, man, and look at what's happening with this gender war thing. Because we was the generation that is the byproduct of all of this stuff where it is now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are the byproduct of single raised, single mother raised lives. We're the byproduct generation of that.
Yeah,
that level of social engineering and programming. So we gotta break the cycle, so to speak.
From the drugs that was implemented in the height of when we were all born in the 80s, with the the crack era and all that, where the whole focus and sole purpose was to divide the black family, or black and brown families, because it was both that they was really targeting. It really low income families, because it was white too. So we can't even leave out white people. Like, it just was really anybody low income. If you was in a low income neighborhood, they was really targeting you. I wouldn't even say it was a race thing. It was just a low income thing. And
it was a class thing.
It was a classism, definitely.
It was a class thing. See, the whole time, y'all, and I think about this, y'all. Whole time we've been sitting up here thinking that it's a race aspect, which it is. We're not of the mind that racism doesn't exist. No, it definitely exists, but we gotta understand why it exists, right? Yeah, and the reason why it exists. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And when it comes to this situation right here, you know what I mean? It's a tool that's being used to create further derision and division, when really it's all about getting us pre-programmed, desensitized, perception prepared for classism. And it's always been about classism, because when you black and you get to a certain level of financial status, your skin color no longer matters at certain points. And it does on a personal level, but rich people do business with rich people no matter what color their skin is. No matter how, and this is the thing, no matter how they feel about each other, they're gonna still do business with each other.
I mean, you locked in. You at that certain level. You're making certain business deals. But like you said, with the classism part, if you from Columbus, all you gotta do is go on the west side and you'll know exactly what the hell we talking about. Like, hey, go to the west side and you be like, ooh, yeah, it ain't just out to black people ain't out here.
And this is the thing, and this is one of the things.
Go to the hilltop and you be like, whoa.
And that's why I say, L, part of the solution is shining the light on a lot of things that we've been programmed to see as not as how they really are. Like when we talk about this, you know, see how they brought up the west side. So you go to the west side of Columbus, that's majority white folks living out there, right?
Yeah.
See, we like to think that, and but it's true to an extent in the aspect, because it is affecting the so-called black community, and more so in degree than it is the white community. Simple fact, there's not a lot of black folks, but by and large, these things affect white folks more than they do us. See, that's the cognitive dissonance right there, y'all, that y'all got to get. This when I talk about cognitive dissonance, that's what people have to understand. Like when we talk about certain racial things, there are more white folks in America on welfare than there are black folks.
Oh yeah.
Right.
The numbers speak for themselves.
You know what I'm saying? But see,
it's a numbers game too. You know,
exactly. But see, those who don't, I'm not gonna say those who aren't aware of I'm gonna say they're not aware of the numbers for whatever reason. They're not aware, mostly because they're not supposed to be aware of them. But by public perception, one would think that mostly black people are on welfare. Right. Quite not true. Quite contrary to the truth.
Yeah.
You did. So what
that's
I'm
what
saying
is that's what the movies in Hollywood tell us.
Right.
You know, the Hollywood creates a lot of the way that people think and react in their relationships with life. A lot of people associate themselves with Hollywood more than what's really in Hollywood.
Right.
I mean, real shit. Like they don't like people. You know, a lot of people what their perception of life is off of what they see on TV.
Right.
And the perception of, oh yeah, nah, look, and even if you go up to like Montana or North Dakota, South Dakota, the Indian reservations and all that, bro, that shit fucked up there too. Like, I mean, I don't even want to call it Indian, Native. I'm sorry, Native Americans. You
Want
know,
to be
those,
politically correct here, right?
yeah,
Smash that like button, man.
yeah,
Smash that
you
like
know,
button.
I'm my
Smash that
fault.
like button.
Because my family, you know, I got some descent. So, you know, Native Americans, but it's messed up there too. Like they got some of the worst conditions. Then some of the hoods we live in where it's all messed up there. Like anywhere you go, like you're gonna find a hood or a bad place or a poor part of town.
Right.
Anywhere you go in America, any state you go to, most cities you go to, all the cities really, it's going to be something that's going to be messed up in that situation.
Right.
And it's going to be like, but people, their perception it is it's all black. Like black is bad. Black is, and that's one thing that I don't like. You know,
Yeah.
I really don't like that because I don't like. I never was even raised under that bubble of, you know. Yeah, I was raised in a strong black household, but my pops raised me a little differently. Like, you know, you respect everybody until, like I said, the way that my three pillars, I respect you, I'll be loyal to you, I'll be trustworthy of you until you do something to take that away from me.
Right.
And that's the way I approach everybody with the relationships. Like I'm cool, and I'll be cool with you. Like it ain't like we all gonna be like buddy or none of that. Like we're not gonna have no special connection with everybody you meet, but I have that certain level for you off top, and it's for you to mess that up in any situation. So, you know, it just is what it is, bro. But I just feel like, you know, we take it back to the whole, you know, spin around the block. Everything we do in this world, man, we try to do it for the legacy, like you said, for the wealth, all that.
Right.
So we just want to make sure that we keep our relationship solid from the foundation to the roof that you build on your on the top of your house. So if you get anything from this, just make sure that you understand that. That's what we want you to get from this whole conversation. That's the whole reason why this was brought up. And that's in any situation from your job to any relationship you have in life with any of your friends to your wife or your husband, whoever it may be.
Right.
You know, apply that always.
Right. And that, hey, man, you know what I mean? Like I say, man, solution-based content, man. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing, and it's real easy too to just keep going back and forth and this and this and that and this and this and this and that. And I'm gonna be the first one to admit that's needed to an extent, right? But at what point do we put the differences to the side and actually have a real conversation?
Like at least have a solution when you have that. If you do have animosity about something, that's
right.
cool. But if you're gonna bring it up, then bring it up and say, all right, yeah, and you can vent your ass off. But then right at the end that you put a solution at the end of that show, you just gonna look like a complainer out here in these streets.
Right.
I'm gonna just tell you how I look at it. Like if you don't have no solution at the end of that rant, then it was just a rant.
Yeah. And that's the thing with the social engineering is we being made to do that so we don't have a serious conversation. Because one thing about this whole thing that's going on, especially on YouTube, is that, you know, it's a lot of factors that go into people not being willing to focus on the basis of the indoctrination. Boy Morpheus said in the Matrix, he said some people are so inertly, you hear me, so innately, you know what I'm saying, so inured and dependent upon the Matrix that they would even fight to protect it and defend it, even though it's the very source of their enslavement. This is what I say, severe Stockholm syndrome. And to some point, all of us suffer from it to some extent. But when you break away from that and you see the indoctrination, it becomes your duty to speak on it. And in doing that, you're going to create some division. You hear me? But a solution for that is to stay steadfast in doing that, because that's needed. That's necessary.
Right.
Because how we going to change it if we allow it to stay the same by conforming, acquiescing, complying like everybody else does because they want to operate off of how they feel. See how we being made to, as a society, not think critically, but we're being made to respond emotionally. And that's very dangerous when we get to that point, because the kids see this and this is how they act. And so this is why we see the stuff we see. You feel me? And the solution for that is to have the number one, well, there's many solutions, but one of them is having the conversation. 2, making plans and actions with like-minded people. 2, and bringing those, and 3, bringing those into fruition. How do we do that? By doing this right here. We have a tool through YouTube, social engineering, the internet, to be able to interact with, link up, connect game, drop game, chop up game with people from all over the world. Once y'all understand that this is a huge beta test, this whole thing with social media is a new, how can I say this, a new program, so to speak, right? It's only been around for about a good 15 years. You feel me? And it has utterly, perceptually prepared the global human population. And what I'm about to say is crazy, but walk with me. It's preparing us perceptually to be connected to the smart grid, the metaverse. This is what all this last 100 years of programming is culminating to, is the metaverse, right? And we got to be able to look past all the stuff that's been put in front of us to create this division and this separation amongst our relationships with each other, and be able to see how it's being used against us to further divide us, and what is actually preparing us for perceptually in the process of dividing us. The division ain't happening because, with some BS going on. I mean, like on a superficial level, the division is happening because it's meant to happen and it's made to happen. It's the reason why it's happening.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? So you can best believe over here at A Real Talk, we're going to have a discussion, solution-based. Like I said, we over here, sitting up here communicating, chopping up gang, connecting gang, exposing things, you know what I'm saying? And this is what they absolutely do not want. It's best to keep arguing and bickering, because there's money in that too. It's a whole economy around that. And that's part of the manipulation and division as well, because it's like everybody like, oh, I'm going to go on YouTube and try to get some money, blah, 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 right? But at the same process of doing that, that's making us all, sync and link with the technology, because this is how we're interacting with each other now. Yeah. You see what I'm saying, y'all? Y'all see how I'm saying? We being ever more so pulled in to interact with this technology. At the end of the day, y'all, the gender war, whatever you see, is being done online, right? And I've always said this, and I dare one of y'all try to steal it, because I'm in the process of getting it copyrighted, right? The revolution won't be televised, but it's definitely going to go viral. You hear me?
Oh, yeah.
This is why they got us on the internet and off of TV. You hear me? This tool right here, the internet, was formed not by Al Gore. Please. Come on. Right. Seriously. You hear me? This is what the whole thing was made for, y'all, to create so much division as to psychologically and emotionally break us apart. You hear me? And I'm talking on a micro level. Like I said, we divided within ourselves. Let me give y'all proof of how this programming goes so deep, and we don't realize how deep the programming goes when it comes to this division thing, and us being made to even have the most division within ourselves, right? Y'all got diseases called multiple personality disorder, right? dissociative identity disorder. That's a level right there. Then you ever met a chick who said she got like 3 different personalities? This is me. And this is something I've noticed since I've been home. A lot of chicks are psychologically disturbed to the point to where they have
SBC
personalities. You ever met a chick and she said, "My name is this. You got this name, and this is what the social engineering is doing." See, it's all connected, y'all. Through the social engineering, which we call and have been told is social media. Ain't nothing social about it because we're being ever separated from each other by forced to interact digitally, perceptually preparing us for the metaverse. This is what this is all about, and this is why over here at A-Real Talk we have these conversations, because this is where it's going to. So this is important to have a conversation in an era when we're being made to not even want to have the conversation. You did.
Yes, sir.
So, you know what I'm saying? I want, you know what I mean? Thank everybody for coming out. Smash that like button. You hear me? Click that subscribe notification bell, as well as subscribe to the page. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody coming out to chop it up, add their input to the situation. And yeah, man, you already know, Cupcake, man. Solution-based content. So what's the solution out of tonight? Numerous solutions. Solution is hit that Cash App. Solution is hit that email.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Solution is let's start linking up with each other. You know what I'm saying? Creating these logistic lines so whenever anything happens, we can interact with each other, because this ain't guaranteed right here. They could take this away from us right now. You feel me?
Always got to find a way to communicate effectively.
Yeah.
It's always about effective communication. As you was talking about earlier, that's what it's all about. Effective communication. Whether they take this away, maybe we need to go invest in some of those the walkie-talkie, the joints for like $100 or something to get the joints, because that's what every household used to have back in the day. Maybe we need to do that, set up a frequency, and make sure we got that no matter what. Like, let's start thinking. Because look, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Y'all might not know me, but we did the town hall. Me and Burge, we did this thing where we created a town hall around that time that I was talking about, when everything started with the divide. And it basically was what he was talking about earlier. We got a bunch of like minds, maybe had different views, but we all had common goals that we wanted to achieve. So we brought everybody in these chats. It was like every other day or so, whatever it was, we just met up and we discussed things that we could do to try to come together to create solutions. Birds would say solution-based content. That's all we talk about. And that's what it was all about. And at the end of the day, that's one thing I used to tell my employees when I used to be a manager at Lions State. If you come to me, at least come to me with some type of solution on whatever you have, whatever complaints you may have. Let's come up with a solution. That way, it'll be more effective, and we can present it, and we can do something about it if it makes sense.
Right.
And that's the way you should approach every relationship. There should be a solution coming. If you got a complaint, come with the complaint. All right, yeah, you might have a complaint, say it, but then be like, all right, maybe this is how we can fix it. But if you just come with complaint and then complaint and then complaint, and then you ain't never telling nobody how to fix it, and you expecting to guess and be a mind reader, and that's in any situation. Like, would you do that in your job? Would you do that if you had money invested in it or something, or your kids was on the line for it? Would you be playing those games with your kids on the line? You don't do it with certain relationships. Don't do it with all relationships. When you start approaching all relationships with the same foundation and standards, that's when you'll live the most effective life. And that's when you'll start being real with yourself. You'll hold that mirror up. That mirror is what we talk about all through this. That mirror is what a lot of people are scared of. That mirror is what holds a lot of people back, because people are scared to talk about it and face it. But it's what we all gotta do. Like, we all got flaws. Like, we gotta live with it. And, my beauty may not be your beauty, and that's cool. long as we can have a great dialogue about it, and then we can move on, and we can have fun, and we can toast up together after it, I'm cool with that. Like everybody should approach that the same way all the time.
Right.
So that's what I gotta say about that.
That's what's up. So we're about to go ahead and end this thing out. We ain't gonna drag it out. I think we pretty much spoke on everything we did. We chopped up good game, man. Dropped some jewels and definitely came up with some solutions to the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I created this platform for y'all. So y'all can hit that email that's in the description. Get at me if y'all want to come on the show, one-on-ones, collaborations, any further questions on anything. You know what I'm saying? Because I know when we sit over here at Able Talk, man, we expound on various different things. You might hear some stuff that some information that you never heard before. So if there's something that is intriguing you, you can definitely hit me up on the email. If there's something that you feel or something you want me to expound, or I can give you some, path to go on, and that might help you out, find out information on you. And give you some links, whatever necessary, put you on the right path to find out what you're trying to find out about. You know what I'm saying? I just say thanks to my AL for coming on. You know what I'm saying? This is the recurring for my brother right here. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? I really appreciate you just making time out of your schedule to come and chop it up, man. I look forward to this every Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure the people liking it too. This is good, and we just over here chopping up game, man. So go ahead and say your last words, brother, before you get up. We're gonna close the show out.
Nah, I appreciate you having me on. Hopefully,
hopefully
they was entertained. You know, like I said, he let me kind of control the topics today. Let me kind of run with it. So this is my first time getting to curate my first show.
Right.
So I was a little nervous when I first he threw it all on me. Like, hey, what you want to do? He said, have it ready by Sunday. And I came. I told him what I wanted to talk about.
Right.
I put it out there. So it was. This is dope for him to let me come on this platform that I have been a guest on already, but to really let me kind of get my feet wet and how to curate the show. So just to kind of give y'all the behind the scenes on that, that's pretty dope.
Yeah. So we transparent with it. We don't mind sharing that information.
I appreciate it, bro, because it was a lot of pressure. Like I gotta be real, like, and I just feel like I really respect what you do. So I want to be one of the ones that always give my people their flowers. And you see, I tune in. You already know, like I question Bird. I talked to him about his episodes. I really like that last one with the guy at the wine.
That's what I'm sipping on right now, y'all. I just brought my brother Hell though, but like I told y'all earlier, he's in the process of getting his labels. So on tomorrow's show, we're going in. I'm gonna go get the bottles because he's getting the labels printed up tomorrow.
I want some. I need one.
Listen, y'all go over there. Listen. You go to Facebook and you type in. Go ahead, put it. Hey,
I already got it.
Yeah, I know you. I'm just saying for everybody, Project Leroy, man. If you could, brother, go ahead and put my brother Surveil's demonstration up in there, man. The Wiggles juice, man.
Wiggles juice.
It's in the DIG, the brand. You know what I'm talking about?
Definitely.
Yeah, man, my brother. This is good, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. See, I've been sipping on this. And I'm not just saying that just to be telling y'all to try to sell y'all on it. I'm telling y'all this is good. It's smooth. It's not too sweet. It's not dry. Good flavor, full flavor. Nice something to sip on, and it's good at room temperature because I like drinking my wine at room temperature, if not lightly chilled.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? So,
but I love supporting my people, man.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Everything I got on crafted culture. Shout out to my homie Justin Payton. You know what I mean?
That's just what we was talking about last night.
Yeah, crafted culture. That's my homie that I went to elementary school with.
Right.
He wanted it. It's a couple of people that own the joint, but he one of the ones. But that's who I know from the start. My homie Sizzle, he's one of the ones too. He the one who do a lot of like the branding. He the one that one shirt you see me in, like he the one to do all the merch. He do everything.
Right.
Like Sizzle, I think he like one of the ones to do everything. He running social media, but yeah, Craft the Culture. They about to open up a spot downtown. Make sure y'all go check them out because they was creating dope vibes. I had Virgin them come out when I had my birthday up
I
there.
had my birthday party up there earlier this year.
Yeah, exactly. And like I was like when they first opened up, like I had them come out, like, and I was like, yo, come support this spot. And you know,
This what
like,
you do. Hey, L, this what you do. You get in contact with your mans and them, right? And see if they'll come on the show.
Oh, he definitely will. That he actually does a podcast too. Y'all going? I'm gonna connect y'all.
Right.
And then we gonna do it here, where all three of us we gonna come together. But I think y'all also gonna have a dope conversation, which you will do. But matter of fact, you know what? I'll be the mediator. I'll do that. Let's do it.
You know, we're gonna make it happen. Shout out to my brother, Mr. O, and the Ozone Podcast. Mr. O with the info. My Joe from Chicago. What's up, bro? What's up with you, man?
Chicago forever.
This is one of my brothers right here, L, man. My brother, Mr. O, man, the Ozone Podcast, man. He a guy from out of Chicago doing this thing. He's going to the Chicago Media School. You hear me? He going to the Chicago Media School.
Salute.
Should I say the Illinois Media School through Be On Air, which I went to, the Ohio Media School.
Okay, nah. Yeah. Good luck on everything. Salute and best wishes in all your endeavors.
Right.
Salute to that king. Yeah.
You already know.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and close the show out here in a couple seconds, L, man, and it's only right that I leave y'all with a couple of tracks. You know what I'm saying? Featuring, of course, me and E. You know what I'm saying?
Pull up.
Oh, you see, this is how you know this is my brother. That's exactly the song that I got right here in front of me. So I'm gonna play a couple of me and L. I'm gonna play a couple of me and L joints with y'all. Like I got 3 of them I'm about to bless y'all in the head with as we close the show out. But you know,
my drink almost finished. I'm like the ladies, man. My drink almost finished, so that's how I know the show.
You know the show is over. I said my Cavassier cognac.
Yes.
My Wiggles juice would taste like.
It's almost finished.
It tastes like sangria. This is a very nice, bold, fruitful, not sweet, but fruitful sangria, I would say. It's very good, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all go mess with my brother, Serville Riley Wiggles Juice, DIG the brand on Instagram. L, go ahead and shout out to social media so everybody can come check you out, send you a friend request, whatever the situation may be.
It's King L's E.N.E. That's on Instagram.
Go ahead, type it in the comment section.
Shit. You know I'm bad with this.
Man, you good. You ain't that buzzed out, man. You can go ahead and...
No, I'm bad with this. You know, I'll do it on my phone or something. Yeah, I got you, bro.
Go hit my brother L up. Y'all gonna send him a friend request, link up with him, you know what I'm saying? Twitter,
King Gales _E.N.E. You know, that's what it is. You know, we this is my bro right here, man. We go way back. So this is what we're gonna do every Tuesday. I told him we'd do it Tuesday. I'm gonna mark out my schedule, 8 o'clock every Tuesday.
Let's go
live. I know how to do it now. Like, what's crazy, I was only late because I had to set it up and I had to really figure out how to do it. But we good now. Like, I got my setup. We got we mess around and get stacks over here. Like, I'm about to have the studio set.
Oh yeah, for sure. You already know.
And then I'm gonna have the couches, everything here in about a week or so. So we really get it popping, like the whole thing. And
yeah, you already know.
Yeah, and then like I said, man, it's dope. I appreciate it. I want to give you your flowers. Thank you for having me on again, brother. And I appreciate it.
You already know, man. I hit you up behind the scenes, brother. And, you know, thank you for coming out. And I'll holler at you later, brother.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put the stuff in the chat.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. You can go ahead and put it in the chat.
And hold up, before you leave out, I want to say I appreciate everybody that came in here tonight, shared their comments, that came on, did their thing. We appreciate it. I believe Horrendous Cupcake, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, you're not mistaken. That's Cupcake right there.
Okay, yeah. I've heard it on a couple of shows. I picked up on things.
Right.
And my homie from Chicago, Tops Beats in the building. You know, I love you, bro. I'll talk to you later anyway. And, you know, who else was in here tonight? My homie Project Leroy with the dope plugs. You know, salute to him.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
my brethren right
dope.
there, man.
Andrea, thanks for dropping in. Juju, John J, man.
Everybody, man.
Just
Juju,
going
Andrea,
through,
man. And that's what I'm saying, y'all. I don't mean to cut my brother
you
L
know,
off, but and
what's up, love?
we want the ladies.
Burning 85.
Yeah, Vernon 85, my brother Vernon 85 in the building. You know what I'm saying? We want
Yeah,
the
all
ladies.
y'all.
We want this to be a platform where the ladies feel comfortable. Because all this
Oh, yeah.
rigmarole and BS going on YouTube. You got a lot of guys who actually hate chicks. It's a lot of chicks who think that I or even my brother L hate women. No, that is
You know what's
absolutely
crazy?
not true. And I'm going to say this, y'all. Until y'all sit down and have a conversation with the guy, you hear me? Anything else, you just basing your views and opinions off of what you see. And that's okay. That's well and good because that's what the social engineering is about. But when you sit down and have a conversation with certain people, you see that your perception of what you thought about them based off of social media is quite often the opposite of what they really are. So, this is a platform over here at A Real Talk Podcast and A Real Talk Media LLC for women and the ladies to come up and tap in, walk with us, voice your opinion. You will have your opinion heard here. We won't overtalk you. We ain't about to sit up here and disrespect you, but you got to stay in pocket.
What's crazy is
Let me repeat that. You got to stay in pocket.
Always.
We get you together real quick.
I think that this show would have been dope to even have, a woman on. Like, this one would have been a good one too. But you know what?
Yeah, there's gonna be time for that. We're gonna do that next week, next Tuesday.
We'll
come up with a topic.
I got the topic.
See that, and then we'll talk about that behind the scenes. But next Tuesday is going to be a situation to where the whole demonstration is going to be about interaction and integration with females.
Let's talk about the solution.
Your women's.
Yes.
We want all the ladies to show up. Y'all's opinions are definitely wanted. We definitely want to hear some different perspectives from the ladies. So next Tuesday, we're going to let y'all know what the topic is, but just make sure y'all tapping in. That's what you do. You make sure you tap in, man.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Arthur. I'm going to holler at you. I'm going to go ahead and end this joint, man. I ain't trying to drag it out too much longer.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro. I'll holler at you.
All right, do your thing, bro. I'm going to holler at you. Peace to everybody.
You already know.
Have a great day.
All right, brother.
What you about to play? Pull up?
Yeah, man. Go ahead and exit on out.
How I exit out?
Just click the thing. Just say you getting up through, like on the Zoom meeting. Leave the situation. Hit the X button.
Leave.
Yeah, this guy's silly, man. So you know what I'm saying, y'all. Yeah, man. I appreciate everybody coming out. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody coming out. You know what I mean? Y'all could be anywhere in the world, but y'all right here with me. You know what I'm saying? I hope anybody tapping in, listening tonight, I hope you heard something that could help you on your path to becoming a better person and how you interact with your relationships and realizing that, entitlement and how that leads to the division amongst us and everything we talked about, you know what I'm saying? And like I say, man, just solution-based content, man. Because, it's all good to have the back and forth. It's all good for you did the da-da-da-da-da. That's good. I'm not one of them guys. That's needed to an extent. But at what point, like I always say, like my man Red always say, shout out to my brother Red Supreme TV1. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother Mr. O on the Ozone Podcast. You hear me? Make sure I go subscribe to both of them right now. You hear me? When we being so led to be separated and divided along so much bullshit, I'm gonna be the guy saying like, listen, man, I ain't on no kumbaya type shit. I understand we ain't all gonna get along, but we gotta come to that coffee table one of these days, man. You hear me? Gotta come to the coffee table and have a discussion, y'all, and come up with some solutions that, like I say, mutually benefit us all. And we interacting with each other, rock with each other, but like I say, we being further manipulated into not physically interacting with each other. And this is why I'm a strong advocate for linking up, you know what I'm saying? Actually interacting with each other, you know what I'm saying? And this in here, I'm gonna say this, man. I'm not one of them guys that's just be willing to just befriend anybody. You hear me? But my gift of discernment has been so blessed and bestowed upon me that if I was to actually link up with any of you moms, right? Oh, best believe, like I said the other day, you know, you can't run game on me. You hear me? I'm just some dude coming on YouTube talking, man, about some, you know, I'm an actual real guy from the turf, man. You hear me? And as you see, when I bring people up here on the platform, you're going to see that, you know. And we got a lot of goofies, as my man Red said, we got a lot of gang goofy Gilligans on this joint. You know what I'm talking about? You hear me? And that's why it's good that us real ones come up on here, goddammit, and kick this real shit. You feel me? My man Project Leroy in the building. It's my brother, man. You know, smash that like button. Click on the subscribe and bell, man. Hit that alarm, man. Subscribe to the page. And since I have my brother L on, it's only right that I leave y'all with a couple of L and Stacks joints. So without further ado, we're going to close the show out. Like I say, man, I appreciate everybody for coming in, man. Like I said, you could be anywhere in the world, but you right here with your brethren, man. I appreciate that. I respect that. I love y'all for that. You hear me? You know, so I love y'all for that. I don't care if it was just 1 month. I'm watching, man. You hear me? Appreciate that. So y'all enjoy y'all eating. Make sure y'all tap in tomorrow. You know, so I'm gonna holler at Cupcake behind the scenes. See if she want to tap in tomorrow. Y'all like, I see y'all like Cupcake, so I definitely gotta bring my sis on. You feel me? And I'm gonna holler at her behind the scenes and she's interested in tapping in tomorrow because this is a topic that when I saw it, it intrigued me. If y'all go look on my page right now, y'all can see that the next video coming up for tomorrow, what it is, and that's what the situation is gonna be. So, you know, y'all enjoy yourself, y'all evening. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all say y'all see you later to everybody. Tap on in tomorrow. We'll see y'all same damn near, you know what I'm saying, same time tomorrow. Now, I ain't gonna lie, man. You know what I'm saying? My brother Surveil told me it's gonna be at 8 when the levels get done. So, you know, the show might be a little late. We might start like about 8:15, 8:30 tomorrow. But you know, when I do, I'm gonna have that wine on deck for y'all with the labels on it so y'all can see it. I'm gonna show y'all, and then y'all can go, you know what I'm saying, shop with my brother. You know what I mean? So y'all, like I said, enjoy y'all evening, man. Cause I know I'm about to enjoy the rest of mine. I gotta get up in the morning, like I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all do. So you know what I'm saying, y'all can still chat amongst each other in the chat room if y'all want to. It's open for y'all. Like I said, this platform is an open platform for when I say anybody. Of course I don't mean anybody, but you know, but of course I'm gonna have to do my background check when you make sure you're good, you know what I mean? But it's a platform for anybody. Well, no matter what city you in, no matter what state you in, if you got something popping as far as building a business or being something positive or doing something positive in the community where you at, please look in that description, hit that email up. You know what I'm talking about? Send me an email. The platform is yours. You got any music going on, whatever, promote your music, whatever, hit me up. We can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And the platform is open. You know what I'm saying? So y'all enjoy y'all's evening, like I said. And I'm going to leave y'all with a couple selections of me and my brother L, man. Hey. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Everything always works except when you want it to, right? That's how it go, right? Hold on, I'm about to play the song for y'all right now. Hold on, what happened? Oh, see, now it's acting crazy. Like I said, it always work except when you need it to, man. I'm about to get this on for y'all, man. Oh, come on, man. These damn, y'all know how these apps be, man. These apps be acting goddamn crazy, man. You know what? I'm gonna just go to this one because that app is acting crazy. I ain't about to keep messing with it. Yeah, man. So I hope y'all enjoyed the show tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hold on. I could just do this right here. Yeah, I'm tripping. All the way bugging. Here we go, y'all. You already know, man. I'm gonna play a couple joints. Like I said, y'all can still chat amongst yourselves in the chat if y'all want to. If y'all still want to vibe out, interact with each other, link up, whatever y'all want to do. You know what I'm talking about? Thanks for everybody for coming out.
East Coast tipped out, Bay more domed out. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. West Coast vibes, baby, I'm so high. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Down south, BRT, if you want roll with King, hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. If you want to top in the hole, let it ride. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you.
Pull up on the tip like I jack my slacks. King E.N.E and your guys back. We don't give a goddamn about your guys' stats. To be honest, most of your girls got wet. Step your game up, bang and roll with the winners. E.N.E is steak meal, fuck a little chicken dinner. You ain't never seen a clique of niggas this fly. Never in your stacks, it's poppin' like a fish fry. Nigga vibe, see you on West Coast shit. Cali up the Cali Club, coppin' West Coast shit. This is a Nipsey Bull, coppin' West Coast shit. All blued up, like we really West Coast shit. We do this shit with style, that's why the ladies love it. Be with the man straight to them when we out in public. E.N.E, best flow, King L, stacks with the facts and then let's go.
East Coast tipped out, Bay more domed out. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. West Coast vibes, baby, I'm so high. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Down south, BRT, if you want roll with King, hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. If you want to top in the hole, let it ride. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Hey, I'm about to now you up on top, about to smoke with the chief. If you know King, you about to roll up a leaf. Look, I don't really dance, but let that ass roll on the D so high. I wasn't on it, but you noticing me. Just like where I'm from, I got a screaming out, oh. I ain't paid for no entry, but she gave me a show. $5 only if it be the dollar the mo. Here for a couple hours, going counting my dough. Look, I don't really know why they envy me. Maybe cause the whole team MVP. Kept the games in your wine, I'm the same OG. Treat the pro like my shoes, keep the bang on me. Game time, now it's mama mentality, up my salary. Wear the wrong colors in the wrong hood, in the casual. With the Malibu, Santa Monica on the beach. Always gotta keep the 40 cal on my reach. East Coast tipped out, Bay more domed out. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. West Coast vibes, baby, I'm so high. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Down south, BRC, if you want roll with King, hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. If you want to top in the hole, let it ride. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Hey, I'm about to pull up on you. Choppin, need the outlet stacks. If you open out the way, he gon' give you some facts. All print, nauseous, bars, equal to 6. E.N.E the cheat code, play the game with a glitch. Reverse the world like I'm in Raven, ever in this. John B the truth, that's some BREDREN shit. If you looking in the mirror, you should know what this is. E.N.E the life up the end, we locking this shit. 20 miles on this shit, they said we out way more down, down, that's that he gave us a trick. G-Strong like the hero, red stars, baby, I'm so hard. G, we just keep the beat on this shit. You looking down, we still down south, BRT, if you want brother King, that's about the bus, man, hey. That's that real shit right here. You know what I mean? Everything that we feel, it's me and you, babe. I mean, like, fuck all that other shit. Like, fuck all that other Depression got you triple, babe. That feeling that you're feeling ain't right, baby. I'ma go and get it, bring it back, babe. Just keep the shit tight, baby. She saying that she love me and she want me make it home tonight, baby. Solid from the door, so I hold you in the brightest of lights. Like comfortable, so I slid a couple secrets. Knew it was real when the chase, I didn't need it. Proceed with all of your aura, babe, I need this. Peace bliss, admire the scenery when I speed quick. 4-5 touch mine, me you gotta go another one on the flat line. Close mine, other than that, life's great sand between my toes. Shades skin the cold, diminish shows on frozen ghosts. Minuscule to 4K views. Can't blame a fool if niggas knew the feeling's true. They taint the moves. Nigga who? How we wrote the script on how love exists in the world filled with simps. They thirst ain't never quench, so forever less flips. Go get an expense. Rather her besides me corrected the glimpse. Baby, the pressure got you triple, babe. That feeling that you feeling ain't right, baby. I'ma go and get it, bring it back, babe. Just keep the shit tight, baby. She saying that she love me and she want me to make it home tonight, baby. Solid from the door, so I hold you in the brightest of lights. The butterflies in my stomach when we meet up. Lights in the we gon' eat up. They kick your feet up. My views flawless speeches. Know you had a lot of lames, David Beckham game to you. Just know every time I level up, you gon' move up. Told her like, babe, what's the target to a room full of shooters? When it's real, you ain't gotta cut it down, fuck the crew cut. When you with the king, be yourself, the rest to follow. Whisper to her when you wake up, you gonna impress tomorrow. Guard off, so I caught it in a great moment. I really want it. Told me that she really own it. Nothing better than a woman knowing how she want it. Won so much in the game, feel like ain't two teams in it. Just sit back and admire how a true king get it. Just know you my queen with it. Baby, pressure got you triple, babe. That feeling that you feeling ain't right, baby. I'ma go and get it, bring it back, babe. Just keep the shit tight, baby. She saying that she love me and she want me to make it home tonight, baby. Solid from the door, so I hold you in the brightest of lights.
What up, beauty queen? You know I really wanna invite you to my world and show you my unique persona. We can get together, steam it up like a sauna, take you on a natural high, no marijuana, just a bottle of wine, some ice to Prosecco. You holding on to that lame dude, you should let go. You was gonna be mine from the very get-go. I'm trying to make you wifey cause you special. You got the best flow, designer fresh clothes, make your own dough, own your home, yo. Vehicle was fully paid for, that frame flame though, selfie queen, you know your angles. Red bottom heels, 5 diamond encrusted bangles. We got the same goals, copping land and counting bankrolls, creating generational wealth. So I seize her, I know your needs though, and you know mine's the same. It's an honor and a privilege to give you my last name,
Baby,
I don't know what love is. Oh, see, you got the meaning of
he did it all for the life. That's right. They was going crazy in the hype. No lie. The game was never faithful tonight. No lie. King cool like he blazing all night. No lie. He did it all for the life. That's right. They was going crazy in the hype. No lie. The game was never faithful tonight. No lie. The king cool like he blazing all night. Used to wait, relocated. Peace to my maker. They only good on paper. They disappeared, call a vapor. But do the boil maker. I never wait to shake a time to lace her. Turn the baser. I'm in that. Picture white and black. My 757 shit. Jet sound be a pack. Backpack of racks. Stash in the packs in the back. Need half double that. Still lack trust on that. On that strong Mr. T-Pack. Bring the lead back. Break depth, so I leave that. We don't need that. Let it sing in the mic, that's the greatest feedback. Listen, you go, I'm moving out. Eventually, you all blown. With a man with one eye, king. Eventually, in due time. They don't need lines. We roll on red lines. We duck that bedtime. You took this bedtime. New line. Cinema 4K. Menace to America. Minister of Latter-day. Two bodies on my God today. Practically. They should have been practicing, there wasn't no AI. Say hot as the song, official like the dawn, rise like the song, king now I'm gone. Hey hot as the song, official like the dawn, king rise like the song. He did it all for the light, that's right. Kings raising the height, wow. The game is never faithful tonight. No lie, king cool like he blazing all night. No lie, he did it all for the light. That's right. They was called praising the height. No lie, the game was never faithful tonight. No lie, a king cool like he blazing all night.
We used to get fresh out the daddies. Had the crib before for 13, serving up the baggies. Plus, bring the five was on some floor spot shit. Had 4x4s inside the door just in case the SWAT force hit. But that was the old days. We used to roll up that gold haze. Hero in the kitchen cooking up them zones in 4 ways. We used to go lock in the booth and go in the zone for 4 days. The work ethic, it was kind of psychotic and just a tad bit crazy now. Trust me when I tell you, man, y'all niggas don't really want it. Smoking on that fake ass pressure, y'all niggas ain't really want it. I'm stacked with the facts, only know mistake those mangoes. Avoid catching new cases and them stay close. All you gossiping ass bitches and all you fake hoes, man, especially all you niggas that be fake woke. Y'all always try to challenge and come at the kid. Y'all gotta read more books, go do a couple bids, go live a real street life, back up a couple bricks. Be facing wild ass time and never think to snitch. E.N.E, we the nicest niggas out, cocaine balls. Whenever we ain't spitting this a drought, we came to wake up the masses, rose and flu classes. Big business deals, the safest where the stash is. Fuck how you feel, Quest said that on our last shit. New music coming, it's sure to be a classic.